Why, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings. I'm your host and guide, Zollin Ironshield, and today we're gonna have some fun talks. No camera today. Zollin is a little bit under the weather making this video, but the good news is my voice is somewhat normal, so that's wonderful. But my hair and face are not. So this would be hiding behind my character Zollin, just so I do not offend any elves with my hairstyle, because elves are our friends here. Alright, anyway, hello and welcome back, guys, to another episode of Voice of the Rings. Today, I'm going to do a little chat with you guys. This will be aimed for my kinship. This will be aimed for anybody that wants to play with us in the future, other kinships, things like that. Whether it be people in the community, a LOTRO community, or watching here on my channel who would like to, in the future, possibly play with us or join us here in my kinship of Voice of the Rings. I want to talk about a couple fun things. Our goals. I want to talk about our housing stuff. And just so you guys know, we're only be talking about like more public things, because there are some things that'll be more private decisions for between my officers and me and my kinship members that are already in the kinship. So just so you guys know, we're only going to be talking about more public type things. We will not be talking about anything obviously private that are for my kinship, because we have stuff we want to, plan it ourselves, so it's not public to the world, obviously. So anyway, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and start talking about a lot of these fun things. So again, my subjects we'll be covering is, one thing I want to do is I'm actually going to walk around our Kinship House, and we'll use this as a video in the future if we need it, to know kind of, what our Kinship House looks like from when we do the move. Now, if you don't know what's going on, let me just give a quick little rundown for everybody. I should say one more time, though, before I finish. The main goals of this video, so people won't just leave before they know. It's going to be basically to my kinship, right? My members. Again, our goals and what I'm looking forward to with the kinship and what I want the kinship to be in the future and what it's going to stay the same. So our fun goals, things like that. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. And again, I'm going to talk to the Lord of the Rings community in large on what our goals will be for doing stuff with events with other kinships and things like that. And again, to other kinships. And hypothetically, if people ever wanted to join us, or when the servers, people are like, oh, we'd like to just merge with your kinship, things like that. We'll talk about some hypotheticals and things like that as well for people. And again, our goals, so people kind of know what Voice of the Rings kinship is all about and what our goals are to add to the Lord of the Rings online community as a whole. I'd like to also point out that I will be supporting all servers, as in saying they're all wonderful and positive the whole time here, like I always have on my channel. I don't know if you have watched my channel for very long. If you're brand new to this video, wonderful. Again, usually I have my camera on, but today we're just going to be chatting. But usually my main goals are, I've been on the server Crickhollow. We still are, if you want to play with us right now. But until we do the merging of the brand new special 64-bit servers, I've always supported all of the channels. Channels, excuse me. The servers, that we've had, European and American servers. I've always thought that the whole community as a whole is wonderful. There's, of course, some small pros and cons with every single server, of course. But pretty much overall, the Lord of the Rings online community, 99% are very, very wonderful. And I'm going to continue to support that as we go on. So a little update and background for someone brand new to the video, make this as fast as I can. The Lord of the Rings Online is basically making 4 new servers. 2 of them will be dedicated in Europe, and 2 of them will be dedicated in America, now in Las Vegas, the server banks. The 2 in Europe are in Amsterdam, I believe. And basically what they're going to do is the 5 dedicated American servers and European, which, by the way, the 10 servers in general that are 32-bit were all located in America, I believe New Jersey, before this. And again, the 5 American servers are going to be merging into 2, which will be Glamdring and Peregrine, all right? Which Peregrine will be like the roleplay, but pretty much the same thing. It just has a roleplay label on it. And then also for European, the European 5 dedicated ones, that 32-bit, will merge into the 2 64-bits of Orcrest, the regular one, and Meriadoc, the roleplay one in Europe. Okay, so now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and chat a little more on what am I wanted to talk about today. All right, so pretty much, I'll walk around a little bit here while we chat. Pretty much it is going to be focusing on today is I want to talk about the goals of the Voice of the Rings kinship. What you guys have always kind of known already, but for new players who might want to know and play with us. Now, to let everyone know right off the bat, the Voice of the Rings kinship will be going to the server Glamdring. All right, let's just make that clear. We're still on Crickhollow right now, so if you see this video in the next 3 or 4 weeks, before the merge, you're welcome to make a character and play with us on Crickhollow, and then it will be free to transfer your characters to the new servers, the 64-bit servers. But later, if you're seeing this later, after the new servers are up, and maybe you're watching this because of that, we will be on the server Glamdring. Now, I don't want to confuse people, but I want to let people know that I will most likely have an alt on Peregrine, the other US server, the roleplay server, just so I can occasionally go see a band event. This does not mean, however, that I'm going to be running kinship events on Peregrine, okay? All of our main players, all of our people, we're going to be on Glamdring for the Voice of the Rings kinship. And again, and that also doesn't mean that I'm not going to be supporting all the servers, because there's wonderful events that happen on all the servers, okay? And I have many friends who are going to go to Peregrine. I have many friends that are going to Glamdring. It's going to be very exciting. We're not here to talk about this day. I already have videos I've talked about on that. We're here talking about mainly what are the goals of the Voice of the Rings kinship, okay? My main goal for the Voice of the Rings kinship is as follows. I want everybody to be having a good time and enjoying yourself, all right? That's really, no matter what your level is. I want people to be able to join if you're a veteran and you've been playing since the very beginning like me, and you're just, you might even be better at doing every instance in raid, right? Veteran, you are welcome to join our group. We would love your expertise, right? Also, if you're someone who's brand new, you've never played a classic MMO ever, tab targeting style, and you just joined the game and you're like, this is Middle-earth. I want to play Middle-earth, play in Middle-earth, right? Wonderful. We're happy to have you. So again, one of our goals will be that everybody is welcome to have fun in this group, all right? I'm not going to put any weird, limiters on oh, you have to play this much every week. You have to be this level of expertise and know how to do this. No, none of that, okay? The Voice of the Rings kinship, we have all levels. Everybody's welcome. The main goal is enjoying Middle-earth. A lot of times this game is... you slowly, the slow traveling through Middle-earth and doing quests is some of the best stuff in Lord of the Rings Online, and I think people miss it when they try to rush to endgame, okay? That's my first thing. Also, a little side note, I recommend, there's these Valor boosts. Those are great sometimes, but if you've never leveled, I would recommend leveling one character in max level before ever using a Valor boost on a character, because it'll just help you enjoy the game more, personally. That's my personal feeling on that. But does this mean that I never want Voice of the Rings kinship to be doing endgame content at tier 2 and tier 3? No. I definitely have a future fun goal with our group as we grow as a group and more players, and we can do weekly events, which we have many now, thanks to my wonderful officers, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I want us to slowly be able to grow and do more and more endgame content. This will be very, very healthy and fun, and we'll always have something more to look forward to as a group, all right? So that's one thing that's very, very exciting for me. I really am looking forward to the doing that with you guys over the next year or so, right? We've already greatly leaps and bounds increased in that in the last 6 months here on the channel and on the kinship. Now, speaking of that, I want to talk about something with the connection, right? So obviously my channel here on Voice of the Rings is, I do this full time now. This is my channel. It is different than my kinship, but I want to make something very clear. I will always, for the Lord of the Rings Online purpose and our kinship, my kinship's well-being comes first, right? So when I make a decision on something, I'm usually thinking about what would be best for my kinship first, right? Now, there is a benefit, right? So there is a separation, too, that I always keep. Kinship is our kinship, right? It's our community on Lord of the Rings Online. The channel here is connected to that. Many of you that watch are in our community on Lord of the Rings Online and vice versa. But a lot of people who watch my channel are here for the Voice of the Rings community, right? Here on my channel, Lord of the Rings content. It could be any game. It could be any subject, Lord of the Rings, right? You might just be here to hang out with me. Sweet. Awesome. Thanks for watching my videos. Like and subscribe. But the bottom line is I do the channel full-time as well. But I want to make sure you all realize and know that I am thinking about the kinship too. I'm not the kinship is not like an expendable thing for my channel, right? It's a symbiotic relationship in my mind on how the kinship runs and that. I've always wanted to have a wonderful kinship in the Lord of the Rings Online. So it just so happens that having my channel has helped bring us all together, right? So anyway, that's what it kind of thinks. So as a content creator, I will always support Lord of the Rings Online because they do a wonderful job. And again, this is me just saying this. No, they're not sponsoring me to say that. I will just always say that because I think it's a beautiful game. It's wonderful, and we should all support it in that way. So anyway, with that all the way, keep that in mind that, yes, it is a benefit, obviously, to have my channel for our kinship, if we're talking from a kinship's perspective, because I can get this message out, right? I can get it out to people who are like-minded, who want to have fun and be happy and spend time in Middle-earth and Lord of the Rings Online, right? Know our goals and stuff, hence this video, all right? So that's always a blessing. That'll be fun. So moving that out of the way, out of the side, let's go ahead and talk about, I'm going to go inside the barn here. Let's go ahead and talk about all right. Let's talk about other kinships, all right? I want to talk about this with other kinship with you guys right now, okay? When it comes to group things, I have been thinking and planning, this is something that is not in stone yet, okay? So this is all hypothetical right now in my mind. I would like to have a type of coalition of kinships and alliances for doing events together and fun things, okay? This can mean even cross-server stuff, right? Planning different events together, friendships with other communities and kinships, wonderful. I think one thing that's going to be a blessing is the fact that now the NA server and the EU server are only going to be two servers on both, right? 4 in total. So it's going to be a lot easier to have planning things across servers in the future, right? For different events, just to get together or something, or even just, fun little things like that. Now, again, obviously, there is still a separation there. So there will also be a coalition alliance idea of doing events raiding together on our server of Glamdring, okay? That's something as a leader I've been thinking about for a while now, and I really would like to do that. Something we go deeper into the raiding idea is, again, I'd love to be able to plan out how other groups play with us and things like that. Wonderful. So that's something that I will be working on and I will talk more in the future with. And I would like to point out to any kinship leaders or, people who want to talk to me, you're welcome to talk to me on Discord. You can even leave a comment on this video. But again, the best way would be to join my Discord and the link down there and talk to me directly about any plans you'd want to work out and do stuff together. I'd be very open for that as long as we're just having fun. And again, it doesn't matter the skill level. If you're a brand new kinship and you're all brand new players, that's wonderful. We'd love to hang out and do stuff with you guys. If you're a veteran level player kinship and you're willing to help out people who are learning, right? And some of us are very high level players in Voice of the Rings, as in knowing endgame stuff, but not everybody. So if you're someone willing to do events with us and help teach people and things like that as well, we'd be happy to do stuff with you. Again, we'd be happy to do anyone who is respectful both ways. We'll be respectful to kinships, other kinships, and then to us, we'd be happy to do events with you guys, right? And I know this because I grew up in Lord of the Rings Online, Middle-earth. I know you might laugh. I was a small child when this game came out. Very small. Wasn't even a teen yet. Okay, so I was really, really young when I played this game. And there were lots of people who were hardcore raiders on my server, and they were so kind and sweet. They taught me so much, and I look back and I'm like, man, they were patient with me, right? Because I was a good listener and a good learner, but when you're that young, you're like, what button do I push again? That kind of thing. So again, I appreciate that for all those people who did that back in the day. Shout out to a lot of my friends in Raiders of the Ring. That's another kinship that I used to play with a lot, and I still haven't altered. But with that out of the way there, let's go ahead and, so again, that's out to all the kinships, all right? So you guys, you can contact me and talk to me and stuff like that. Again, our kinship, I already know a couple other kinships that I've been in talks with things. I know a lot of people are going to Glamdring. I know some groups are going to Peregrine. That's wonderful. That's from Crickhollow's perspective. I don't know a lot from other servers' perspectives. I've been reached out by a couple different leadership from other servers, and I'm very happy to hear some of you were like, yes, we would love to do stuff with you on Glamdring. So that'll be very exciting. So I'm looking forward to that. Now let's talk about another side thing. Let's talk about a hypothetical, right? If someone wants to join our Voice of the Rings kinship, merge their kinship into ours. This is something that I am very open to hearing about and talking about, but it's something that obviously my kinship as a whole will have to discuss, right? Our officers and stuff. And again, I won't go into private details on that, but obviously just from a Lord of the Rings Online community perspective, we would obviously have to talk about that. I would be happy for people who have similar goals to us. The only things that I worry about with something like that is that I really want the Voice of the Rings kinship to always feel like you can hang out and do what you want to do, right? And join us for events and stuff like that. But I don't want the Lord of the Rings Online Voice of the Rings Kinship to get so big with so many like different groups that it starts feeling like it's gonna like break apart, right? That's we don't none of us want that, including other kinships, right? So, but if people want to join in that have very similar, stuff and views on having fun and building a community and stuff like that, I would be, of course, willing and open to talk about things and think about stuff like that. Absolutely. Again, we would talk about that in private over Discord or whatever, things like that. But again, I think it would be a fun thing. My only worries again with that would be like people feeling like they're getting, there is every kinship has a culture, right? And sometimes if you force two cultures together, right, you might still all get along, but there might be some friction, right, that happens. I doubt it. To an extent, that doesn't really happen as much in video games, but it could still happen. I've seen it happen. I've been in Lord of the Rings Online for 17 years. I've seen it happen. It's usually always gracious and cordial. There's never any fighting. It's just more like, well, we have slightly different, opinion on this or this pick or things like that. So my main thing is if people wanted to join the Voice of the Rings kinship, that they would be totally on board with, supporting brand new players coming in, having fun, relaxing, doing different events. I have nothing wrong talking about just my kinship. If we have so many people in the future where there's little groups that are like, none of the officers are on it. You guys want to do an instance together, right? Like that's what kinships do, right? We just have fun. We don't have to plan every little thing we do when we're all online, right? We'll let you know, our officers and me as the leader, when we're doing events, and special things. That's just a fun part of this game, right? So anyway, those are just ideas, kind of talking out loud that can be told to the community. Again, I am way more leaning towards inclined to have people join us who have like-minded, fun goals to help newer players and have a blast and have fun together. I am a really, you all know if you watch my channel, I'm more of a chill person. I do my best to lead things in a relaxing, enjoyable sort of way. That's why I don't really have any criteria of people like, you have to be on this much all the time. That's kind of stuff that ruins the fun of games. It's not a job, the game, right? It's funny because obviously this channel is my job, but I still enjoy this channel, right? But when it comes to the kinship and everyone playing it, it's a fun thing. It's a game, right? It's fun to have plans. So that's why our officers do so many planning for you guys, right? And again, let me talk about officers for a moment, all right? I am so blessed to have wonderful help in Mr. Hammer and Beth and Emily, and again, we have 4 or 5 other people that do some stuff as well, and I could go through the whole thing, but it's been such a blessing to have people helping plan other events and things like that. It is absolutely wonderful, and I couldn't ask for better help in that way. One thing, as our channel grows, the channel, yes, which will sometimes also affect our kinship growing, obviously, if people realize we exist, right? That's the challenge. We want to join the kinship too. We want to have more and more people join, but I don't want to get to the point where our certain leadership is overwhelmed. So there's a fine line between, I don't want to ever push people away like, we're out of room. No, that's never going to be the case in that way. But there's a fine line between having too many cooks in the kitchen as a leadership, right? And then also having too few where people are feeling exhausted as in leadership, right? Myself included, right? Obviously, I will always be here to help and lead stuff, but I never want to get to the point where I burn myself out or any of my leadership burn themselves out, because a lot of us are, we're leading this kinship for free, right? My channel, I work, this is my full-time job. I do stuff on my channel, right? All this stuff. But with my kinship, it's more personable, right? With you guys. You guys are like, I'm playing with you guys. We're all friends, that kind of stuff, So when it comes to our channel growing over time, I will indeed want more leadership, people that'll work well with my leaders I have right now myself. That's the one thing. We usually want a period of time, right, to get to know people and know someone, and then if they work well with us, boom, we bring them in as a leader. That would be future thought. Right now, we like to keep it to where we just have a couple leaders. We also don't want things to overlap, obviously, with events, so we don't want it to get too crazy with that. But, on the side note, if someone plans an event where I'm doing a stream with my channel or whatever, it doesn't really matter. I'm still going to do my stream, but again, some of the events we plan, I do streams with my channel. Again, they're separate, but there are some small connections, right? And again, hopefully it's all symbiotic, positive relationship between my kinship and my channel. That's what I always will make it be, right here on the channel. So, anyway, there. We covered quite a bit of stuff. I probably bored most people, and they're probably all gone now. But that's okay. This was me just chatting. This is for the hardcore people who wanted to kind of know this stuff. This is basically my thoughts on a lot of this stuff, and I really want the Voice of the Rings kinship to be a really fun place. I want it to keep growing, and again, if our kinship gets really, really, really big, that's fantastic. My biggest thing is I want it to always be fun, and everyone's enjoying themselves, and I don't want it to get to the point where there's like breakups happening between the kinship, right? Because some people, you know, this and that. I want it to be a happy, fun family, no matter how big or small the group is, right? And that'll always be my goal here on the Voice of the Rings kinship. And again, if people join us, another kinship or something, a lot of times what I'll probably do is, you know, there's certain, we'll have to take it by a case-by-case basis, obviously, if that ever happened. And if, you know, usually I'd probably want maybe an officer or two, you know, if it's a really, let's say 30 people join us from another kinship or something, right, that wanted to merge into ours. I'd probably want one or two of their officers to stay officers so they could help with stuff too. But again, we would still have to have, you know, leadership levels, right? Because we don't want there to be conflicts or frustrations between anyone. Again, it's a hard thing, right? Most of my main goal would be, what I would want is other groups to join us, as in like an alliance coalition on Glamdring, and we can all meet and plan stuff between the different kinships. This doesn't mean, though, if a kinship is feeling like, well, we really kind of would rather just join your group, all of us, we all kind of voted on, we'd all just want to join Voice of the Rings kinship, then I would be totally willing and happy to do that. I just don't want anyone to be feeling forced into joining our group. But does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty logical, right? So it's not that I'm not totally open and willing and happy to have people join. It's that I don't want those people to feel like they were pushed into joining or something, right? I never want that. I want everyone to be here because they want to be in our Voice of the Rings kinship, all right? Yeah, so I think that about covers that pretty much. So anyway, thanks for being here for the little chat. So now what I'm going to do is I'll chat about a couple other things here, but I want to do a little walkabout here of our kinship house. So this is our kinship house right now. This is where it's at. Let's talk about a few other things here we can talk about in the public community, is the idea of kinship homes, okay? This is something I've been thinking about for a while now, with the upcoming server merge. If you're watching this after the fact, maybe that's the case. So there are several kinship locations around Middle-earth, right? If we do a quick little look here at the map, we have 4 free locations, which mean you can just use in-game money, right? We have the Bree-Land Homestead, all right? That's a free one. We have the Shire Homestead right here. That's a free one. And then we have the Elven Homestead here, all right? And we have, of course, Thorns Hall Homestead, which is where we're located right now, which I really do enjoy this spot. I think it's very pretty. I'm a big fan of the Thorns Hall Homestead. So now we're going to talk about something. I've been looking forward to this and wanting to do this, but this is something, again, will come down to our group, people that are actually in our kinship, okay? I've been wanting to go to the Amroth Homestead and buy probably this island, maybe this one, I don't know, as our new kinship home. Now, hear me out. Let's talk about a few things. Mr. Hammer, our officer, one of our main lead commander officers, has pointed out to me that this is one of the oldest premium housing, which is true. Therefore, it has a few negatives on this island. Like, there are no horse things to hook up horses to go on the highest island, and I believe there's also not the ambiance area, which is like the lighting change or like the sky change. You can't change it's always the same weather or whatever it is here in Dol Amroth. So that is a little bit of a negative. Now, a positive is how cool this island is. I think in this video, we're actually gonna go check it out. But here's another couple options that we can think about as this is directly to my kinship, who is part of the kinship right now, okay? We could also think about going, again, to the new this kinship area. There's some wonderful kinship homes here. This has all the newest benefits. It's the newest neighborhood. It's beautiful. This is obviously my house right here, which I will probably keep as my premium house. So that is very exciting, right? This is a cool spot. Another spot we can think about as a group is there's 2 Rohan ones. There's one right out of Edoras here called the Kingstead Homestead. That's one option. There's also another one if you go down to, let's see, Kingstead, the Eastfold right here. There it is. The Eastfold Hills. This one's a little bit more of a less field, more up in this mountains with trees. It's also very pretty, you know, very nice. There's a big house right there we could have. So that's another option, right? And then we have a few other premium hunts. There's one in Erebor that we could do. Now, Erebor, it's funny. I really like the inside of these houses, but and you can change the lighting, obviously. But I tend to be a little bit, don't like how dark it is. And again, I'm a fan of dwarf stuff, but me as a negative, it's a little dark as in being underground. But again, you can change the lighting around your house and stuff because it's newer. So there are some benefits to that as well. And with that, I think we covered the premium housing areas. Erebor, am I missing one? Am I missing one? That would be awkward. I don't think I'm missing one. I think I covered them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 premium housing homesteads. I don't think there's any new ones. It'd be interesting if they added one on like the Shield Islands. I mean, I highly recommend they add one on the Shield Islands or somewhere in the newer areas in the future. That would be very cool. But maybe even one near the city, right? That would be cool if they had like a homestead area. Like, I don't know where they'd put it to make it realistic though. But yeah, it would be cool. Anyway, side note. So again, here's what we need to think about, okay? Here's what we got to think about as a group when it comes to these housings. And this will all be talked about in the future with meetings here with our kinship. But this is something we'll be thinking about, and you know, I'm sure other of you in the community on Lord of the Rings are going to be thinking about this stuff as well. I want to be thinking about, we're going to still pick one free neighborhood as our main hub for housing. So now if we look real quick, right, and we look at our houses, okay, let's see, house, you can have several things, right? You can have, so I'm the kinship leader, so I obviously own my main hub here, right, at our Thornshall Kinship House. And then I have my free house, which every account can have, all right? This is, you can have one single regular normal house, and basically it's right down there, okay? It's you can play either the regular deluxe one or the small one, right? And then a kinship house. Now, when it comes to premium houses, you can actually have more than one on, you know, because they're something you purchase with pretty much real money. I obviously have my one in the mountains, and I also have one in Dol Amroth, all right? You can always travel to them all this way. But basically, I also have another alt kinship from a long time ago, right, that has a kinship house. So whatever premium large kinship house we decide we'd like to pick to upgrade to that, because especially, again, we're going to go check it out right now in this video, we need to keep in mind that I still want to pick a free neighborhood because I'm not going to expect all of my kinship members to go and buy premium houses. I'm also not expecting any of you guys to pitch in to buy the premium kinship house, okay? I'm going to just, you know, fit the bill kind of thing, right? If people want to help with that, sweet, wonderful. But again, I have a bunch of my wonderful Patreons which help with things on the channel, even though that is separate from our kinship. You know, it's still a benefit that I can help use some of that to get us a kinship house, all right? But pretty much it'll be just coming out of my own pocket. But I'm totally okay with doing that because I'm the one pushing that it would be fun to have one of the premium kinship houses, okay? Now, with that out of the way, we're going to pick a neighborhood we like. When we pick a free neighborhood, one of the 4, like we talked about, that are in Erebor, when we pick which one we want, I will use my alt kinship to still pick a kinship house. So for example, let's say you guys are really down with having this kinship house, and you guys, most of you want to stay in this neighborhood, right, later, and we all pick one of the neighborhoods in the new Glamdring server, right? I can use my alt kinship house with my other character to buy this, and then I will do the work and add every single kinship member that wants to come into this house, all right? Right, so we'll have 2 kinship houses. We'll have one in our free neighborhood with all of our free people who want to have the regular in-game houses. And then we'll have one premium house for the actual main Voice of the Rings kinship. And we can, pick premium houses around that if you guys want to purchase those. Or if you just want to have your free ones, you'll be set. No matter what, you'll be able to teleport to all your homes. I've already taught you all that in other videos. But, man, most of our kinship knows how to do that anyway. So anyway, these are all things that I'm thinking about. Nothing is set in stone. Again, this is just all ideas that I'm thinking about with stuff. We'll be talking about this more in detail with our kinship in a private meeting type thing on Discord and in-game, okay? So, but this is all things for my kinship to keep in mind, okay? And start thinking about a few weeks ahead. Now with that, let's see. This is all its thinking spin. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and travel over and look at the... Oh, you know what? No, I said we were going to look inside my kinship house, okay? So this is how we have everything laid out, just so we remember for later. If we do end up saying we want the exact same thing we have, basically I laid this out here like this. There's our crafting stuff. All right, oop, I clicked the craft. Things like that. See that freeze right there? That ain't going to happen on 64-bit server, so I'm excited about that. All right, so there we go. Those things are all laid out, okay? So let's go ahead and go inside our kinship house here. And we're going to do a little walkabout. And this will be for me, Mr. Hammer, and a couple other people to be able to see exactly how we had stuff laid out. We can keep it the same. We can totally redecorate it, but it'll help us out. So we have our things here, right? This might be something other kinships want to do. Do a little recording for yourself, for you and your kinship. You can kind of see where everything is laid out. I put this little table here for her. She's got her own little money bank. All right, so that's what we did for the front. And then if we go in here, basic, we'll do a little walkabout here. All right. Now this tree I actually sunk into the ground. I like the tree. I think it's really cool, but basically we'll just do a little, I put up all these fish. Now, personally, you guys have to remember this. When it comes to the premium houses, don't forget that you don't want to sell your premium house. You want to move the character that it owns the premium houses, because if you do that, if you don't sell them, all right, you get full rights back, which are the, WRITS. They're the things that you use to buy the premium homes. So if you own a premium home, do not abandon it, because you won't get your full money back right now, unless they somehow change that. So you can take it with a grain of salt. They may change it in the week or two before the thing, but most likely it'll be the same system as they've always used. So just keep in mind that, your stuff will technically go to the new housing broker and the new place, but you could take all your stuff and put it in your inventory still. And then just don't sell your house. Okay, if that's for the premium ones. I'm pretty sure you'll get a refund of stuff for the regular homes too, but it doesn't matter quite as much because it's not like the real in-game money you'd be losing if you want the premium homes. So this is basically how we set up our little bar here. So just keep that all in mind, all right? I will most likely be taking all of my items out of the houses and putting them in a character's inventory or a bag, just because I personally like to, kind of have it all organized ahead of time so it isn't just all dumped into the thing. But I'm not going to sell my house because I want to make sure I'm getting full rights for it, right? Now, a comment for our kinship and how it works to rejoin our kinship once we move to the server Glamdring. This is important for any kinship to listen to, or any player. You want the leader to move first, and then you, then basically after the leader moves, you will, he'll remake the kinship, or her, whoever is leading, and they'll remake the kinship. And then when you move over, I think you're automatically in the kinship again, like without having to be re-invited. But let's say your leader moves a little bit later than you, and you want to move the day of, right? The second day of. It's not the end of the world. You could just talk to them later once they're on the new server you guys all plan to go to. And for our case, for Voice of the Rings, it'll be Glamdring. Please keep that in mind. So, if you want, you can wait a little bit. But again, you also want to make sure, right, with names and everything. Right? I'm going to turn this down a little bit. So anyway, there's our kinship house. There's a little walkabout so we can kind of remember and pause for us later. With that, let's go check out the island. All right, so I'm going to bring up my housing again. I keep forgetting how to get to the house. There we go. We're going to go ahead and use this to travel to the cliffside Dol Amroth housing homestead. All right, there we go. Whoop. Here we go. But yeah, guys, just keep that all in mind. That's all important to keep in mind with the moving stuff. Again, don't feel like you need to wait exactly for me to be done. Blah blah blah. We'll re-invite you. Okay, so if you get there before my character gets there, for, let's say the loading that day, right, or whatever, when they do all that, don't worry, we'll get you all re-invited. Just make sure you're in Discord. Okay, all right. This is like the biggest thing. Just I'm doing that thing where my character is talking for me. Just make sure you're in Discord, guys. Please, 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 please. Make sure you're in Discord. If you're in our kinship, just so I'm not like, we're not losing people. Obviously, as long as you move to Glamdring, we can get you back in the kinship, obviously. And again, remember, keep that in mind, that we will have a little alt thing probably on Peregrine, so we can have a character or two on there just for doing fun little events. I'm going to put my low level over there who's like level 20. All right. But do not move your guys there thinking that's where we're going to be raiding and doing events all the time. This is for Voice of the Rings Kinship, okay? We are going to be on Glamdring. Do not get confused on that. That'll be where we'll be raiding. That's where we'll have almost all our characters. We're going to have well over 100 members once we're on Glamdring, you guys. I just want to give you this information real fast before I forget. We have about 70 players in our kinship right now. You can see a bunch of people online right now as I speak. Okay, there's how many people are online right now, which is wonderful to see that many people active. It's Sunday afternoon, right? Or evening for some people. At least NA. Some of us play from Europe and stuff too. So we get people playing at different times of the day, which, by the way, if people want to play with us from Australia or Europe, I am thinking about making more time-zoned events for them on Glamdring. So if you're someone who wants to play with on Glamdring, I want to make sure I stress the point that I'm very excited that Europe now has their own server banks, right, in Europe, and it's wonderful for them. But I want our European players to still feel welcome to play with us on Glamdring. So if you want to have an alt on Glamdring, or you want to have all your main stall on Glamdring, it's going to be, no matter what, the 64-bit servers are going to be faster and better, right? You can always test it, and there will be free back and forth transfers from what people are telling me. You can take it with a grain of salt, but most people are saying they're planning on having free transfers between all the American servers, right? Peregrine and Glamdring, for those who maybe want to change their mind on something, right, in the future. Things like that, okay? But or if you make a mistake or something, which would be a very big mistake, but it's there, and that'll be nice that they keep those free for a couple, I would assume a few months after, I would hope. I don't know that for sure though. So, but yes, to our European friends, make sure you remember that you are welcome to play with us in Glamdring. And to our European and Australian, I would like to make one of our officers who would be willing to lead events in the future. If someone wants to become an officer, you could talk to me in the leadership in our kinship, and we would like to do I'd like to have some special event times for that. I'll even do an occasional stream at 3 a.m. my time or something, if we want to do something where, for everyone to see what we're doing, right, on the channel. But again, I'm just talking about for us in-game to play, and that kind of stuff, okay? So keep that in mind. And again, wonderful, back to what I was saying, we have so many active players. We probably have like 25 or 30 very active players. I mean, we're on like daily, which is fantastic. And for most people are on a weekly basis now. You can see right here, if I just go through the pages. Now, some of these are alts, obviously, but just in the first 5 pages, we have everyone's been on within a week, okay? All right, there we go. So 6 pages, we've had everyone within a week. And then if we go a few pages in, everyone was on within a month, okay? So that's fantastic. Some of these, again, are alts. But we are, I already know a lot of you in the community here on the channel have told me from other servers that you don't have a kinship and that you want to join us when we get to Glamdring. That's awesome. I've had about 50 comments like that, which is really exciting. So we're going to have a lot of people joining us in the upcoming Glamdring merge transfer here. So you all need to keep this in mind, my friends. So we're going to be having lots of fun stuff in the future. And again, I'm preemptively planning things. And again, wonderful that I have officers and leadership already. And if our channel does grow, excuse me, I keep saying channel because I'm here making a video, but I'm talking about our kinship. Our kinship grows a ton. We will indeed be looking to have more officers join in leadership positions. Now, mainly what I'm looking for officers in leadership positions is that they always respect me as the leader and our other commanders and older officers, right? But at the same time, respect everybody in the group. And they're doing it to have fun and make it fun for other people as well, and not just to be in the spotlight, right? And, you know, it's more of something I have to think about as a content creator, right? So, like, all my officers right now, they're wonderful. They want to do it because they want to help the community of our kinship and have fun, and that's what I wanted, right? We don't want to have officers that are there just for, you know, oh, because they'll be on a stream or something, right? I have nothing wrong with, you know me, I compliment my officers all the time. Of course I'm going to do that because they're wonderful. But the point is that their goals are, they're there to help the community of the kinship, right? And not because of the spotlight. I have to think about that more than others. I remember when I played this game before I was a content creator, there were people who did it to be officers just because they wanted the spotlight, even before the idea of there's a channel involved, right? Or someone streaming. So that's something that I always want to think about, and I think most of you completely agree and understand with what I'm saying on that subject. But we will be finding more officers in the future as our channel grows. So we'll be thinking about that, whether it be just people joining us, and we'll pick someone who's been around a long time who would be wanting to do that, or we have some veteran player who works really well with me and the other commanders and officers, and they respect the community, and, you know, they want to help lead an event too on a different day, maybe on the middle of a day that one of our other leaders are already leading something, right? Again, there's many options and time periods that people could lead other events, right, as our group grows. And again, one thing is I'd really love too is to have some more people who could lead for an Australian time, good for them, or for a European time that's really good for them as well. Because I definitely want to, because my channel advertises to the whole community of Lord of the Rings in the world, which I'm so glad to have you all here watching if you are. I want to also make sure the game Lord of the Rings Online, our kinship, has the opportunities that everybody can join us no matter where you are in the world. In fact, I just had someone the other day leave me a comment who wants to join. One was from the Philippines, and one was from, I'm trying to think of the other one. Now, again, with those time zones, we're only going to have a couple people. Hopefully, one of our other events will fit in for them, right? Because we do have to think about the group as a whole, too, even though I don't want to let people slide through the cracks, you know, that can't, you know, with timing. That, you know, that's what I have to think about as a leader. And stuff like that. All right, cool. So anyway, this is one of the kinship. This is my kinship. Excuse me. This is my personal premium house here at Dol Amroth. Now, I actually do not have anything here right now, really. The island's actually out there. Now, if you notice, it's nighttime in the game. I can't change it. All right, so this is something that is a downside to the Dol Amroth Homestead. It's basically a premium homestead without the newer updated things, with being able to change the sky or do fencing or things like that. It's basically just a lot more things you have for options. So as you can see here, just for this one, you know, this house offers 140 interior decoration hooks, 27 exterior hooks with shared storage. Now, the one of my favorite things about Dol Amroth is it's right on the ocean, and the yards are huge. I mean, I own this whole yard, okay? And then I own that whole yard right there. And then I own this whole yard right here. All right, so one thing that's really nice, and this is just one of the regular houses. This isn't even the Kinship house that we're going to look at, okay? This is kind of what they look like inside for the basic. I haven't really even changed this very much, right? Again, I really like the area of Dol Amroth. So, but again, in this video, we're gonna jump around and look at a couple different homesteads right now. That we've talked about a bunch of different stuff. I hope this has helped people. Hopefully this helps people decide things, even if you don't plan on any plans to hang out with us in Voice of the Rings. Maybe you're just another kinship, maybe you're just another player. Hopefully this will still help you out a little bit with information on what's going on. Now, I really kind of wanted to look at this homestead in the daylight. It's the evening. Well, let's go ahead and go over there anyway. You know what we could do? We could come back and look at this later and check out some of the other spots first. But we'll just ride down there for a minute. But yeah, anyway, it's a beautiful... I actually have a tour video of the homestead. I'm excited to make you guys more tour videos with the new 64-bit. It helps with loading distances and speeds, so visually it's going to probably look even better than what my previous tours looked like, even though the game has been graphically updated wonderfully the last couple months and last few years, actually. So I'm going down to the docks here. There's the dock. And I'll give you guys a quick little tour of the housing area. Now, we're going to go to some random kinship house if someone owns it. Let's see. We got this one is... This boat goes where? To Tolkien. So that's this one. So let's go ahead and... Is this boat giving the other one? Tolkien. Oh, they're both interesting. Is it that one over there? Okay, there we go. So I'm tending to lean towards this island, but let's just go ahead and check them both out for this video, because I want to give you guys food for thought, my kinships, to think about this for later. Oh, the music changed. I like it. Okay, so we're gonna teleport over there. So now this is, remember, it is nighttime on the island, but if we did buy this, we would own. So there's the mainland. This is the islands. All right, so this would be our little dock here. And I'll kind of just give you guys a tour real quick. All right, so as we go along here, this is what our home would look like. Now, funny enough, Raiders of the Ring is actually my friend's kinship. So I forgot that I actually bought my house in the same neighborhood as... So this is actually my friends, who I used to be in their kinship for many years. Some of them still play, most of them are busy with life things. So this is what we've got. So this is great because my friend Remixadan actually decorated a lot of the islands, so we can kind of see where all the decorations are. Since I can't turn them on, you can see we actually own. They gave you all of this area. I'm gonna just be up high right here so you can see. You can see he's decorated with all of these things. We get a massive amount of options. Okay. So basically all the way to here you can put housing items. And again, remember, the island is all ours. All of this down here too. It's just the edge is where we put all the decorations. There's some seagulls. So if you guys like this idea, this is kind of what we would do if we wanted to get one of these homes. Now it's a little loud for me. I'm turning that music back down. It's huge, so I'm just gonna ride around the island once, kind of give you guys a feel. This is part of the... I need to show you this. This is something that's really cool. There's actually a stage area here, the court of Lochu. This is fun because we could totally do events right here for our kinship, especially if we're talking our kinship is... You know, if we can have 50 active people on at once, this would be perfect to have a spot to do some community events and stuff. You know, like the fireside, the fireside storytelling event for the Halloween event we've been doing. This would be a great spot, and other things. This is just an idea I had. Okay. All right, so that's one area. Again, we might not end up picking this place, just so everybody knows watching this video later. We might be somewhere else, so you'll have to watch our streams to know what's going on. But this is just fun ideas. Now I'm gonna go to the top of the island. You can climb all the way to the top here. You can see right here you have a beautiful tower. Peak, this is the top of the island. Again, it's nighttime, so you can't really see that far, but you can see there is the beautiful building, and there's actually a back area here on the ground as well. You can put stuff all there, so obviously that is actually an item that someone put there. And then you get this, basically on this whole island. Now you can't put items back here, but it's huge. And then there's the other islands you can buy as well. I personally like this one the most, just because it's a little bit larger in feel. This one also has a large backside, but I don't know, I just like this one a lot. If we were gonna pick one of these, this is my technical vote. All right. But yeah, you can go down here. I thought I remember there's actually like a little quest you can do back here, but maybe not. But there's like a net quest or something. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. But as you can see, we basically get all this area. This would be great for different events. You know, we could do hide and seek on the islands. People could hide in bushes. You know, there's all sorts of things we could do with this. There's all sorts of opportunities. We got so much to look forward to. Hopefully my sick voice doesn't break on me right now. Okay, a little sick today. All right, so anyway, that is the other island, which is also nice, but I don't know. Is it that Feng Shui? I don't know. I just like this one more. That I believe you can swim to, but there might be an invisible thing. I don't remember. There's like an invisible barrier at a certain point with these islands into the water, even though you can swim. Yeah, see, this is like a little quest thing you can do. I forget how you do it, but these cages are like a little mini quest you can do. Unless you can't do it anymore, but... so anyway... That's the ocean. Dwarf swimming in full body armor, guys. And also to everyone, leave your comments, especially those who are actually in my kinship. What do you guys think with housing? You know? We're going to make sure you're in our Discord down there in the link description, because we'll be talking about this. And we will have an private in-game kinship event where we will be discussing things, and we'll most likely do a vote through Discord or something like that. That'll be closer to the merge time. We're a little far out right now at the time of me releasing this video. So yeah, I mean that's it pretty much. I could ride around on this thing all day. It's pretty big. It's a pretty massive island, so we would own this whole thing. This would be our kinships. And again, we could even, you know, we could host other kinships as events, you know? If we have a coalition on Glamdring and we decide, hey, we're going to do this fun event, right? Hide and seek event or this or that. We could totally, you know, host one here, you know? And also, by the way, I've learned that there's actually a lot of other kinships that have been doing hide and seek events. I had heard about them a long time ago when I played, but I didn't realize how many other people do that. That's really, really cool. So we could definitely do events with them. Honestly, when I started the hide and seek event, I wasn't even realizing that other people did it that much. That's serious. But then once I started being a content creator and I got onto the forums, I was like, oh, there's a lot of people that like to do this. Cool. So anyway, we could do fun events with people too. But again, this island could be really good for that. You know, people could hide in the base. They could hide outside anywhere on the islands. Maybe we just limit not going in the water because that feels a little cheaty. But yeah, look at that. We could host different events here, you know, with our kinship and, you know, even having friend kinships over. The alliance and coalition, like I was talking about. Again, there's all sorts of opportunities we have, guys, as a community of Lord of the Rings Online, whether we're all on the same server Glamdring or even just, you know, community in general, all of us. There's so much fun excitement. I'm so excited that Standing Stones is doing the 64-bit servers. You know what excites me too? It excites me because you think about it. If they had said, hey, we're merging the servers just into the regular into 2, I would have been like, oh no. That's no good. That means we're losing the game, right? That's what I would have thought. But since they didn't, they invested a bunch of money into brand new 64-bit servers on new server banks in Europe and in Las Vegas. I was like, oh yeah, we got years to go, boys and girls. So that made me very excited. Yeah. So anyway, this is me talking while I don't have a camera. I talk through my character, right? Right, my horse? Yeah, you say hi to him, horsey. Yeah. Okay. So, anyway, I'm very excited that we're getting brand new servers. Again, remember, they had to invest a lot of money and a lot of work into making these new servers. And again, remember, these servers are going to be able to handle probably the same as 5 of the other servers put together in population size. So if we do get to the point where, you know, they need more servers besides Glamdring and Peregrine, as much as I kind of wish we'd all be on the same server, that's a good thing, not a bad thing, because it just means there's so many people to play this game that even the brand new servers that can hold 5 or more times what the old servers can hold at once, you need to make more. That means we've got to, you know, that's awesome too. They're both positives, even though, again, I was almost in the boat originally, like I kind of wish we could have had everybody on one server because then we get the full, you know, population of America on one and full population of Europe on the other. But there are some reasons for having 2 separate servers for not only technical, but also different group, what people want or particular things they're looking for. So I understand. I do see both sides. Absolutely. I'm just the kind of guy, I'm like, I want to play with everybody. That's the simple side of Zollin Ironshield. Why don't we just all play in the same spot? But at the same time, I do understand there's, you know, good things. So here, let's look inside this house real quick here. So again, this is not my house right now. This technically one of my characters is in this kinship though, one of my low levels. But that's just because I hang out and I don't play that character very much. So this is what it looks like. You can obviously change some things. I'm trying to remember. I think you could change the floors and the roof, I believe, as well. But this is how big it is. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, my friend did. Okay, this is a perfect example. My friend remixed a bunch of work on this house. But again, it doesn't have quite as many options as some of the newer homesteads have. All right, so this is just like, this is pretty cool. It's the Standing Stones logo. In 3D reality, though. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you get this room, this like sunroom, which is pretty cool. All right, so this, there's this one. Now, again, we need to think about, too, I think in this video, we are going to turn this video into a little bit of a longer video, guys. I'm going to walk you through a couple of the other kinship homes as well. Just so you guys can all get a feel for it ahead of time, and that'll help your decision on what we all want to vote for. Because again, I don't want to like push you into one direction, right? I'm not like trying to, not like the band. I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to push you guys into like, oh yeah, pick this. I want everyone to kind of have their, you know, the full information. So I do like this. The only negative I think to this particular house is that it is kind of chopped up the way they did it, but like it's still nice. Like I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. This is really nice though. See, we could have events right here. It's kind of cool. The 2 chairs he put. Don't click on this, so you'll be a sad panda and lose your pants. That's what it says when you click on this. Beautiful upstairs though, with the light coming in. Absolutely gorgeous lighting. This is a beautiful hall. This would be perfect for big events as well, or all sorts of things, or outside, right? But this would be good because the light would always look the same in here at this quality of brightness. So anyway, that's one place to think about. All right, and then with that, let's go ahead and go out. And we'll check out a few other places in this video. And again, if you can't be here for the rest of the video, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. Again, this is more aimed at my personal kinship here on Voice of the Rings, but also to my other kinship friends and all over the community of Lotro and other players who may want to play with us on the server Glamdring, or if you want to, you know, that kind of stuff. If you're still here, I probably should have said this at the beginning, but I do want people to realize that a lot of people from Crickhollow, different kinships, are going to Glamdring as well. There is also a large group going to Peregrine. So it seems like to me, from what I've talked to and people I've talked to, that we have a population split of about 50-50 on Crickhollow when it comes to people moving to different servers. But I don't know if that's the same across servers. And again, that's all hypothetical and a guess from people I've talked to. So don't take that. The bottom line is both servers are going to have a lot of players, okay? Both servers are going to be massive compared to what we've had this whole time. So keep that in mind. Also, little side note, I did do a poll on my 4 days ago here on my actual channel, and it looks like when it comes to active players in Lotro and people on Crickhollow, without people, seem like about 70% are going to Glamdring in my poll here. On the forums, I've looked at 2 different polls that people did. It seemed about 50-50. Or like if it was all 4 servers being European ones too, it was 25, 25, 25, pretty much. It did lean slightly to Peregrine on the polls on the forums by like 5 or 6%. And it was also about 100 people on those polls that I saw on the forums. So again, take this with a grain of salt both ways, on the forums and here what I'm showing you, because we're talking about, you know, thousands of players. We're not talking about 100, right, from either of those polls. So just keep that in mind, my friends, as a little side note. You know, that is one thing. The reason that I was picking Glamdring is that there's a couple reasons, right, with that. And one of the reasons, by the way, if you're curious, I'll just go ahead and let you guys know real quick here. We look at this scary lighting. One of the reasons that I was just picked the server after much deliberation in my mind over a week and talking to many different people and even talking to a couple of our main leader officers, the reason I just picked it and didn't like do it a vote, because I really wanted to make it easier for everybody to just kind of like, this is what we're doing. I didn't want there to be division and frustration. I lived through the Great Merge 8 years ago, and it was kind of stressful, and honestly, this one was still quite a bit stressful. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna do my best for my kinship to make it as little stressful as possible for you guys. I went ahead and went with Glamdring just because of there's quite a few reasons. I'm not gonna go into it all here, but that is why, again, I will have some alts on the other one to do events with people, but I decided I would go with Glamdring just because from everything I saw, it seemed like the majority of a lot of people are picking Glamdring. So I think my guess is both populations of servers will be massive. They'll be way bigger than anything we've had in the past, but Glamdring will be a larger server when population. That's, again, it's a hunch from data I've seen on many different things, including the polls I just showed you. But again, I lived through the Great Merge, and I kind of saw what happened with certain things when it came to names. I feel like I should point this out as a content creator. You guys, the RP doesn't matter, okay? So whichever one you pick, you need to decide what communities you want to pick and play with. Now, personally, I support both communities on both servers and all servers. Everyone is really wonderful in Lord of the Rings Online, and I want you guys to keep that all in mind, okay? So keep that in mind, but I just don't want people to think that. But no matter what, it does seem like when new players join a game, they see RP and they're like, oh, well, I don't play RP, so I guess I'll pick the other one. That does seem to happen, but I understand why they put the RP label too, because it kind of tells people if they want to have this certain style of gameplay. Now, here's the thing, little side note. On Glamdring, my kinship, we're still going to do role-playing things too. But we also do a lot of instances in raiding as well. So we have a mixed bag, and I want everyone to feel welcome no matter what. So that is why there's a lot to it. A lot more to it than what I just said in the last 2 minutes. But I just want to make sure you guys all realize that both servers are going to have lots of players. Both servers are going to have people coming from Crickhollow. So I don't want people to feel one way or the other like, oh, well, I'm going to go to Glamdring because most people are moving from Crickhollow to Glamdring. Or, oh, I'm going to go to Peregrine because most people are moving from Crickhollow to Peregrine. I don't know if I would judge anything on that, guys. I would focus on who do you know is going where and what do you want to join. It doesn't mean you can't also move later because they're going to have the free moving, right? So these are all things you want to think about and keep in mind. So it's a hard decision. I'm not gonna lie, guys. It was stressful, and I was like, I know not everyone's gonna agree with me, and I want it to be just a straight decision quickly. I want to pick fast because I want everybody in my community and my kinship to know, and here on the channel and other servers who have always wanted to play with us, because I know a lot of you said, hey, we want to play with you Zollin on your kinship. So it was stressful. I'm not gonna lie. So, but my goal was I wanted to keep the stress off my community the best I can. So I went ahead and just kind of made the hard decision ahead of time. But I didn't make it lightly, and I did not make it quickly. I had been thinking about it actually since I knew servers were coming out for several months. But I also spent about a week mulling it over a lot, talking to many different people. So kind of know what's going on. And on a side note, on a positive too, is a lot of other content creators that we all know are also going to be on Glamdring. So at least that we can do events with. So that'll be fun. But again, that was not my reason for picking. There was about 10 reasons that I went over and had to mull over my mind for an entire week. And literally I got like no sleep like 3 nights thinking about it. That's how much I thought about it. So thank you for supporting me, my wonderful kinship, on my decision. And thank you all so very much for, thank you for your support. Because it was not an easy decision. All right. especially because I know lots of people that are also going to Peregrine, and I know lots of people that are going to Crickhollow. So it feels bad to have to kind of pick between communities, right? But again, we have to remember too, the other 4 servers are also going to be doing that, and they're also going to have massive people coming to all the servers. So we're all going to have many new friends to make as well. And it doesn't mean we have to lose our friends. You guys, we can all join Discords together, and we can still have alts to go see people for, you know, events. Or if people on Peregrine want to have an alt on Glamdring, even in the Kinship if they wanted to, and, you know, they want to be here for a hide-and-seek event, sweet, come on over, right? That kind of thing. And vice versa. There'll probably be a lot of bans. I think there's going to be bans on both servers from what I'm hearing. But if we hear a banned event like, for example, the Weatherstock event, I'm assuming that'll be on Peregrine. That's just a guess. I think I'm a pretty educated guess there. But basically, if it is on Peregrine, then we will go and attend it with our low levels that are alts on that server. So anyway, keep that all in mind. All happy thoughts. Again, this whole video is me just basically talking my mind that I can. That I can talk about. That's public knowledge. Okay. All right, let's teleport on this boat. All right. So with that. Oh man, I better be careful. I'm gonna lose. Voice of the Rings is gonna lose his voice because I'm a little sick. So I'm trying to talk kind of normal too because I don't want to gross you guys out. You know, I'm doing my best. So, why don't we go ahead and just quickly look at the other island real quick? Or, you know, we could come back to the end to look at the other island. Why don't we take a trip to the other homesteads first? Let's start with the premium homesteads. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the Hobbit homestead, okay? Where my house is right now, my main premium house is. Get stuff in my bag here. Whoop! Look, guys, it's a floating axe. Oh! Oh. Well, that's a bummer. I did not realize because I teleported this, it changed my favorite house. Oh, it didn't. I don't know why. Weird. It wasn't. This is still my favorite. Oh, weird. I don't know. Maybe it's because the last one I teleported to. I guess that kind of makes sense. All right. Well, that's okay. I have another way to get there. Let's go ahead and go to Bree. So, why don't we go ahead and check out the Bree-Land Homestead real quick. Get everybody, we'll look at the free one there first. I'm going to try to do this kind of fast so we don't turn this video into more than 2 hours, okay? So this is going to be us exploring. If you're with me here as my kinship suite, thank you for being here. We could do a stream like this too if you guys want to, but I just thought we'd make it a video since I'm sick.
What can I do for you?
All right. Sick and tired of... No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I mean, I am sick and tired, but I'm not sick and tired of anyone. Just me being sick. You know, I was over here the other day when I was making video, thinking about the merge and everything coming up. I was thinking, oh man, you know, man, I must be burnt out because I don't feel like even doing anything right now this weekend, right? I took a break this one weekend when I was making this video, and then I realized that I was sick, and I was like, oh, that's why I'm burnt out. That's why my energy's gone. It didn't have to do with, I mean, obviously the stress made me feel like I was like drained after with the picking and talking to so many different people, which, by the way, thank you to all the officers and kinships that reached out to me. I appreciate it, and you guys are welcome to do that. Don't feel like it's like, reach out to me, talk to me. That's totally fine. It was more of the seeing where everyone was moving and that feeling of, oh, did I pick the right place? Oh, these people are going there. Oh, this group is going the same one as us, though. Blah blah blah. And I am solid in my decision. I am happy with Glamdring, and now that I've had comments in the comment section from my videos and from here on the Kinship, we have a lot of people that were going to be joining us, and a lot of different kinships that are also going to Glamdring. So excited, and that have our same values as well. Little side note, I did not pick my choice at all on worrying about any small bit of like trolls. Okay, so no matter what in life and in video games, there's always going to be some trolls. Now, I'd like to point out to everybody on all servers in Lord of the Rings Online that 99% of the Lord of the Rings online community is flippin' fantastic, and everyone is wonderful and respectful, and they have fun, and it's just fantastic. There's a couple small percent, just like anything in the world, that are, they're jerks, right? We can all just say it, they're jerks. And here on this channel, on Voice of the Rings, I will always promote the positive and good of the Middle-earth Lord of the Rings online community, and if I have to knock a few heads, the 1% of these jerks, I will. But here's the thing. I did not pick my choices at all on what server I was going to pick, either on, where they might be. Because the reason why, okay, is that the bottom line is both servers are going to be huge, and the chances is there are going to be that 1% of trolls on both Glamdring and Peregrine. All right, let's just make that's it's just mathematical, okay? You increase the populations of both servers by mixing the 5 servers into 2. You're going to have a little on both. Now, will there be more than one on the other? I also didn't think about that because I was judging on the 99% of the wonderful community for the 5 American US servers. I was not judging on the 1% that might be there. The might is where I didn't want to make decisions on. They might be on Glamdring. They might be on Peregrine. I did not want to make a decision on that because using that as my basis because I don't know. I personally just feel like that was the wrong way to do it. So I made it on the 99% of the community. I tried to see where everyone was going. I tried to, I'm making coalitions and alliances with all the great kinships across all the servers, and especially ones that want to play with us in-game on Glamdring. But again, I'm going to make friends with all of our old sister and brother kinships on Crickhollow, even if some of them are on Peregrine, right? That is the goal. But again, I really didn't want to make decisions like that, thinking about that, because not only is it a stressful way to think about things, my gut feeling is there will be trolls on both servers. We're not going to be able to avoid it, guys. I'm sorry to break it to everybody, but that's just that's life, and I hate the trolls too. Me on my channel. I'm not a content creator, guys. I deal with that 1% in real life, right? Of the trolls, like 99% of my community, fantastic on Voice of the Rings. Maybe even higher, maybe 99.9%, right? We're talking about the 0.01%. There's a couple. Right? And usually they're random people who joined who really know nothing about the community, blah, 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 right? Because most people who join brand new are wonderful additions to Lord of the Rings online community. We want new blood. We want new players joining the game as well, right? And I'm sure that's what Standing Stones thinks about too with building their game. They want to increase the, people coming into the game that love Lord of the Rings online and love Lord of the Rings in general, which again is what I try to do here on my channel as well. So anyway, yeah. That's all I was going to say on that. I just was thinking about that. So again, that was pretty much just me talking out loud a little bit, but I think that's respectful enough to be able to say that to the full community of my channel and to publicly. So I did not decide any of my choices on that when it comes to things like that. I just want to make that very clear. All right. Anyway, with that, let's go into a neighborhood here. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the neighborhood that I kind of own. Okay? That's what I'm going to do in this video right now. All right. So welcome to, this is the free area, free location of Bree. We're going to ride through this real quick. Check it out. Oh, and can I just add one more thing to everybody? I'm not saying that anyone who made the decision thinking that there would be trolls on one server or the other is wrong to decide on that. Everyone should be able to decide what they want on and make their own decisions. I'm not trying to say, oh, how terrible that you decided on. No. If that was when you're deciding factors, that is just fine. I'm just saying for myself and for my kinship, I didn't use that as a factor because I didn't feel like it was good for me personally to use that as a factor. Does that make sense? Do you guys does that follow? Okay. I'm not here to make anyone feel bad about their choice or grumpy at me or something. That's not the point. I want everyone to feel happy. I'm just saying, as my kinship leader, that's what I've been thinking. By the way, this is what the housing brokers look like, their symbol. So if you move your house and you leave your stuff in and you move your character, it should all be in one of these, in whatever homing. I'm assuming whatever homestead. I think these might be linked to everywhere, like the vault, so I don't think it matters what homestead you go to. I think they're all linked, and as you can see, he has nothing for me. When I click on him, it doesn't do anything, but keep that in mind. So this is the free wonderful homestead of Bree-Land, Here is a funny... I actually actually own all 4 of these kinship houses. This is the one neighborhood that I controlled from a long time ago. One of my kinships I deleted by mistake. Unfortunately, the good news is it wasn't like an important kinship. Guess I could just remake it. But yeah, it wasn't really that important. So, but as you can see here, string table. Oh no! Did you see that? Okay, let me do that again. So this is the kinship house that I gave control to Zollin, but I deleted the kinship. So now it says this: string table error. Oh no, that's the name of my kinship, guys. What's going on? I actually talked to him about this. This is a known glitch, and really, there's nothing they can really do about it in the older houses here. But the good news is, I still have full control on this house. I can even pay for it, but why would I pay for it when I'm going to merge in a month, right, to a new server? So as you can see, I can still control it and everything as leader. And you can see here's the name of the house, guys: string table error, table DID 0x25009140 token X00. It's just so funny. It's so funny. Oh man. Anyway, but yeah, I can still use this house. I can still use the inside, but let's just go ahead and use it as an example of what the houses look like here. They're very similar to the layout of Thorn's Hall, obviously. I think it's almost identical, actually. It just looks very Bree-Lander-ish. So this looks a lot like the one you saw a few minutes ago, and yes, I can still open and use my chest. Sadly, I did put some money in this back in the day, so bummer. Little side note, I do not believe the premium houses, I don't remember if they keep the slots you put in-game money with, but or these, but I believe you lose your slots with buying a new house across servers. It would be nice if they would update that, but from what I remember, it does. So you might want to think about that, everybody. And again, I don't really need to go upstairs. It looks the exact same layout as the one, you know. I'll just run up there. Here, there. You've seen it all. There. Okay. All right. Good. Got it. There we go. That's the Bree-Land house. Now we'll do a little walkabout through the neighborhood, and then we'll check out a couple more. All right. Now it's funny because I actually plan to make videos of like being a guide through the housing homesteads. Like it's like my LOTRO tours, but like I'm a realtor. So if you guys like that idea and you'd like to have the individual videos of every neighborhood, you need to leave a comment telling me you want it in the description, you know, in the comment section, guys. You have to tell me. If I get 5 people in this video saying, yeah, you should do that, I'll be like, okay, well, I'll do it. Tell me which housing neighborhood you care about more first. So anyway, here is this area over here. And again, I'm not going to show you everything. So Home of the Iron Horse is a kinship I own as well. It's actually on my sister's old account. So back in the day, they used to be you had to have like 7 players in a kinship of different accounts to keep it from dying. And then they realized that didn't really work very good, so they just made it where as long as the one leader is that like a character still, the kinship will exist, which I appreciate. I think that was a wonderful update back in the day because it should have never been. You know, it was lame if someone left your kinship, you didn't know it, and then your kinship got deleted because one of the 7 people left, and you're back after a month of a break or something. You're like, oh no! All right, Home of the Ironshields. All right, guys. I wonder whose house this is. Let's look. What's my name again? Zollin Ironshield. So anyway, this is my old kinship that I actually led for many years, which never had very many people, mind you. Yeah, there's probably like 5 or 10 of us. But we were a small kinship. But yeah, so I keep the kinship name. I really like this house though in this spot. So if you guys want to think about housing, here's a quick look at the neighborhood. And again, the loading distances will look a lot better once we're on 64-bit servers. That used to be my main personal house for a while until I moved the one to Thorn's Hall. But yeah, this is basically this homestead. It's kind of fun just making this video for you guys today. Just relaxing with everybody. Now, this is actually the home of Zollin, which again is my alt account. Used to be my sister's. now kind of my alt account. So that's their home, the home for that account. And again, I'll be moving all of this stuff to the new servers, obviously. I don't plan on getting rid of these characters or anything. Which, by the way, the alt kinship I was talking about that would hold a house for us if we had... my horse pops up. It would probably be the Ironshields, would be the one we would use as an alt kinship for the free housing area, to have our own special spot. And this is Order of the White Tower, which is actually another kinship I made a long time ago. I don't even know why I made it. And now that I've looked at both, I realize what kinship I deleted by mistake back in the day. All right. Anyway, with that, laddies, let's go ahead and check out the next area. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little swift travel here. You guys all kind of know what Thorin's home. Oh man, my brain is breaking, guys. I'm sorry. Again, I have a splitting headache, which I've had this entire video. And I took medicine, but, you know, that's what happens when you're sick, right? Unfortunately, Zollin is not immune to sickness, even though I look like I should be, because I'm a dwarf. All right. Let's see here. And guys, you got to remember, too, when we move to our new servers, everything's going to look identical, except everything's going to load better and run better. All right, so it's not like you're like leaving the world you love. I know there's some weird feeling about leaving your named server. I originally was on the server Firefoot, so I have that feeling where I felt weird moving to the server Crickhollow. I felt like I was like abandoning my world, when in reality you're not. It's the identical thing, even though it feels like it's a different dimension or something, right? But you know, all these people will be the same. Burt will still be here. Burt, right? We'll see you on Glamdring and Peregrine, right? Especially Glamdring for us going to Glamdring. I don't know what you're talking about, dwarf. Get out of here. Okay, fine.
How can I be of service?
Man, Burt, I thought we were friends. We've been friends for like 17 years. Like, really? I've been selling you horses for 17 years. I don't know about friends. Wow. I'm hurt, Burt. I'm hurt. Okay. I'm hurt here, Burt. What have you done to me? Oh my gosh, my brain is breaking. I'm sorry, guys. What was I doing? Taking you to one of the homesteads. We could look at the premium. Yeah, let's look at the premium. All right, here we go. Let me make sure it takes me to the right one this time. There we go. We're gonna go to Lyndelby home. Or is it Lyndelby? Lyndelby Homestead. I always say Linsby. I don't know why. Lyndelby Homestead. Whatever. So, no matter what, you know, if you like this spot, you're welcome to buy this spot too on a different dimension. They're planning on adding many, many, many homes to the dimensional areas for the new servers. I like how my character, it's loading, so it's just infinitely whistling. So, as you can see here, the benefit to this homestead, which is probably the newest, is the fact that not only are, you know, all the textures wonderfully upgraded, you get the access to... This is the biggest private home you could buy, by the way. It's not a kinship house, from what I remember. You get access to the decorating hitching posts. You also get access to, for example, the lighting differences. Because remember, the game, it's nighttime right now, but in my world, it's not. In my homestead. So that is a benefit, obviously. You get these options on some of the newer places. All right. You can see here, I'm currently visiting home of Zollin. And it says that I have, this home offers 153 interior and 61 mobile exterior, hitching posts, lighting, environment, music, wall surface, floor, fence, hooks with shared storage. Okay, so again, the reason that the dual Amroth house does not have is lighting, hitching posts, environment. It does have music. It does have wall surface and floor surface, and fence it does not have. Shared storage it would have, from what I remember. So. You got to keep that in mind. And as you can see, this was not necessarily a very cheap house. There's the cost. but I will get 27 rights when I leave to the other server, as long as I don't abandon this house, ahead of time. All right, so, which actually, I don't even know how you abandon a house. Don't even see the option. So anyway, bottom line is there's a way to do it. I think it's with the housing guy, but don't do that. Just move your main character to the server you're going to. For us, it'll be Glamdring, and you will get the full 27 rights or whatever back. They will not give you Mithril. They'll give you rights. So I will most likely be buying this exact house again. Most likely as my backup, because I really like this house. So again, here's the things that you won't have in the Dol Amroth one. We do that. The environment, the fence, which I don't even have a changed fence, but the environment obviously will change. If I pull the environment out, which I've showed you guys this before, you'll notice that immediately some stuff will happen. Look at that, guys. Look what's happening. It's nighttime now. But what if I want it to be Doran's Day at 5 o'clock in the afternoon? Psh. All right, and then you'll notice the lighting change. So that's really nice. That's something we'll be able to do with our Kinship House if we buy in this area. We're going to go ahead and look at that right now. So let's go ahead and check out this neighborhood real quick. All right. I also like this Hobbit area because not only do you get the Hobbit vibe of the houses, you get that upper mountain vibe. I just love that upper mountain vibe feel. It's really pretty. You can see I left my housing area, so it's going to go to the actual time of day. So again, that is a benefit with the housing. Now, in theory, here is the neighborhood. It's very pretty. So this could be another pick that we could pick as a neighborhood for our premium neighborhood. But what I want to do is I want to just find one of the kinship houses and give it a look, give it a look-see for us, so you guys can kind of get a feel. And then I think what we'll do is, so I don't turn this video into 5 hours, because that's probably what would happen if we looked at every single house at every neighborhood. I'm gonna do special videos when I'm not sick, and I will be the Zollin, your realtor, your hosting guide, and now your realtor. And I will do videos of every single housing area. I'll try to get those out maybe before the merge, maybe? I don't know if I can promise that. That's a lot of work, but I'll do my best. One thing also that I want to talk about for our kinship real fast, so I'll talk about it while I ride, is that, there's a limit to obviously how much time Zollin has in his life, like in actual time that I can do stuff, which is why I appreciate my officers so much leading events. I do not plan on ever ditching and disappearing and leaving, but obviously as our group grows, we'll need people to support more players, right? I obviously can't start taking out time for every single person, because it'll be an impossibility for any human being, right? Or in this case, dwarf. So I just want to keep that in mind for me as my viewers and my kinship members, that I absolutely care about every single person, and I will spend the time to help someone if it's something that really needs to be taken care of in that moment or things like that. But just remember that there are many people talking to me all the time, and now that I'm a content creator, I see why that's the case for other content creators, right? There's a lot of people talking to you all the time, right? I also understand that for people who own a business, right? Not that I consider our kinship a business. We're a group, a friends group, but it adds up very quickly when you have one person sends you a message and they think, oh, I'm just messaging you this one time, and I haven't done that in 3 months. But think about that if 500 people and you have 10 people message you in the same day, right? you get my point. You get my point, right? And again, I really do care. So I look at these messages and I try to reply and help people as much as I can. So I'm not trying to tell you guys, don't message me. That's not what I'm saying. Please message me if you have something you want to ask, stuff like that. But if I don't get back to you right away, just know that I will do my best. It's not that I'm trying to slight anyone or ignore anyone. I would never. I really do want care. But that's why in the future I do want to make sure we have enough officers to ratio of players in the game, so there is always you know, a hierarchy of someone you can talk to. You can't directly get to me for a quick timed thing, right? And then they can talk to me, right? That kind of stuff. But again, I tend to be someone who I like to be personable, and I want to talk to you directly, best I can. And again, this goes for people on my channel too, as viewers, right? I really appreciate you guys' support. But as our channel grows, obviously, you know, I try to keep up with the comments right now, but that might not always be a realistic thing for me to promise to do. So I'm not going to promise it. But I will tell you right now, I will do my very best to always talk with you guys and communicate. Both of them, obviously, more so to my kinship, right, that are playing with us in game, and then to my viewers here watching the channel too. I will definitely do my best to always listen to, especially people who are being genuinely fun and happy and asking me fun questions, right, that kind of stuff. Obviously, someone's a troll on my channel. I'm gonna ignore you and make fun of you. Okay. I definitely didn't make fun of someone the other day who left a really annoying, mean, dumb comment, and we totally laughed in Discord about it, like 20 of us. It was very fun. It was very entertaining. So thank you to that person. Though you don't get any publicity because I'm not telling who you are. Again, some random person. It had nothing to do with you know, any of my usuals here on the channel or my kinship, of course. All right, here we go. Let me
Could I speak with you a moment?
Well, yes. I would just. Oh, oh gosh.
How can
what
I
happened?
be of service?
There we go. I just need this. I actually realized I ran out of mine, so I have no access to my VIP benefits. So just want to quickly before I forget. Thank you. There. Okay. So I believe this is this a kinship house? This is the biggest kinship house over here, I think. So let's go to that one. And we'll go ahead and continue that. I'm sorry that like I've been stopping in between and telling you guys stuff, but this whole video was about that. I tell you what, I will do my best. Promising to do timestamps is a massive endeavor, especially for big videos. I just want to point that out since I don't have an editor. Maybe in the future, when the channel grows and your guys' support, and you know, maybe I'm able to keep food on my own table, if the channel gets big enough, maybe I can get someone who can help me with, you know, a good person to do editing. I'm not doing that right now, though. Don't start messaging me people on Discord. It's gonna be a while before that. But I appreciate everyone's support on the channel and liking and subscribing and stuff. It's been very wonderful. All right, where am I going in? I think it's over here. I think this is the biggest kinship house, from what I remember, and we're just gonna kind of check it out. So this could be an option for us. And again, I think what we're gonna do is I'll make some videos. So I've got a few things I want to do for the kinship. I want to make Home of the Willowwood. Oh, that's a nice kinship name. So this is a kinship house option as well. It's also huge. We have the option to all the special benefits of the newest stuff, lighting, all that kind of stuff. We get this huge, beautiful yard. I mean, look at this. This is insane, right? This is cool. We get our own little water mill. I mean, this is pretty awesome, right? So this is another option for a good spot for a kinship house. We can obviously make events here. Oh, we get our own little pond back here? That's amazing. For fishing, we could do fishing events. Of course, we could also do fishing events in the ocean in Dol Amroth. So, but this is cool. Yeah, I think for sure I'll make some guide videos on touring these areas, these kinship houses and housing areas. We're not gonna do it all in this video because it'll make it too long. So I think it's a pretty awesome view, honestly, of this spot. All right, and then that's another kinship house, I believe, down there. I think if we were gonna pick a kinship house, though, we want to go big. Go big, go home. No, I'm just kidding. It looks like we also get this pretty little like lookout spot where we could do like a little events. Now we don't really get any like special seating like theater like the Dol Amroth Island had, which I honestly really liked personally. But this is still, we could kind of make it ourselves. But this is a beautiful view. Still a great spot. Like no matter what, like any of these kinship houses could be amazing. And in theory, if I have multiple Kinships, we could in the future, you know, as we grow, we could even make multiple locations, but that gets kind of confusing for our community in general. So I'd like to just have one large kinship house, obviously. And then if we pick a free home housing area, I could put one of my kinship houses as a backup kinship house there. They could also have like the teleport, you know, locations for people that live in that neighborhood and stuff. You know, helpful things like that. That's what I was thinking for that. Let's see how this person decorated their house. Oh, never mind. They denied me entry. That's what that was. Well, aren't they lovely people? No, I'm just kidding. All right, home of the Willowwood. You guys, if you see this video, how could you? Oh, I'm just kidding. It's fine. I understand. Just teasing. Just teasing. All right. Well, I guess that kind of puts a stop to that, doesn't it? Tell you what. Why don't I'll just show you the lighting effects in my house. We'll just go back over to my house real quick. The good news is it's almost daytime in the game, so we could check out the Rohan Homestead at least. Maybe we'll just do that. We'll just check out the Rohan Homestead, and then we'll finish by checking out the island again. Just at the end. Let me show you this real quick here. If you're someone that's been watching this whole video, I really appreciate it. This is kind of an off-the-cuff video that I felt like just talking to you guys all about and kind of like, you know, knowing ahead what to do. And again, like I said, I will do some thumbnails to try to help. Excuse me, not thumbnails, timestamps. Oh my gosh, see, my brain is not all here right now. So if I show you real quick, we have this effect. It's called lighting, okay? So if I remove this, you'll notice the lighting actually changes in the room. See how the lighting changes and glows a little bit more? So there's actually like a lighting system that you can use in these newer homes as well, which I don't think the Dol Amroth has. But again, you remember the Dol Amroth Kinship House did have some very nice lighting, right? Like naturally, just by itself, it was well done. That's one thing that some people maybe are a little bit wary, like for me personally, about the Erebor Homestead is not super great when it comes to its built-in lighting, but it's newer, so you can use the lighting system. Also, my character's all terrified now because I walked by the. There we go. So, anyway, why don't we go check out? I vote we go and check out the homestead real quick at the Erebor. Real fast. Let's check that one out. And then what we'll do is we'll fly past these. I'll use the little person to show you the home without taking the time to ride all around. All right, here we are. We're at Erebor. We'll ride to the homestead here real quick. So we're actually inside Erebor, which I'm sure all of you have seen, unless you're brand new players. Then sweet welcome to one of the coolest places. Oh, we got epic music playing. Let's turn it up. Turn up the music, Zollin. There we go. Ooh. So this is the outside area of the housing area. This music never gets old. Chance Thomas, guys. Chance Thomas, composer. He came on the channel. It's on my interview playlist. He talked about how he wrote this very song. It's pretty awesome. It's definitely more fun to hear from his own words, but I'll just tell you for fun. Basically, the choir was so good that he didn't think it sounded like dwarves because they were so perfect in how they sung it. So he told them to march in place while they sung. And then it sounded like dwarves, and he was happy. It's a pretty great story. The choir was too good, so he had to make them sing while they marched, basically. All right, so what I'm going to do is I would like to visit the largest kin house. So let's go ahead and just look at purchase a house. I believe the biggest kinship house is this one it's only one of at most of the servers area. So let's go ahead and is it Ironfoot Road? No, it's not that one. It's probably 4 Oakenshield Way, right? Yeah, look at that, man. It's 1,000 mithril. Holy moly. You guys better not make me spend 1,000 mithril on the vote. Now you're all going to vote for it. Let's look at it. That's insane. That's expensive. But I'll do it. I'll do it. If we all vote for it, people want it, I'll do it. So here is inside the homestead. Now, again, it's really, really magnificent and majestic. And very, very cool. This is basically the front of our house. All right, so we own this, right? This is ours. Everything you see from that fence to that fence and back is ours, okay? So this is ours. This is what we overlook. This is the whole Thorn Hall. There's the gold down there, the sea of gold you can actually swim in. I still laugh. My cousin got on one day and I was just playing and I was swimming around in the gold. And he's like, you can't swim in gold. I'm like, yes, I can. It was great. It was a good moment. We were laughing. So anyway, get my cousin to play Lotro with us again. Yeah. You know it, Worldly. Come play. That's his game name. All right. So, in fact, me and him had these 2 characters back in the day, and it's kind of awesome, the names. I won't say the names just because no one take our names. So we'd own all of this epicness. See, here's the gold. You can hear it. Oh, the gold. So much lovely gold. Oh, it's all ours. This is why we had to spend 1,000 mithril coins. Though, I mean, in theory, if you think about it, a mithril coin is probably worth like, gosh, how many gold coins? I bet you a mithril coin would be worth like 1,000 gold coins if we were actually like the wealth difference. So I mean that seems pretty accurate for 1,000 mithril coins. What is that, like 100,000? That's a lot of gold right there. So here's what else we would get if we own this housing area. We would get this right here. Basically, there's a bunch of stuff like hooks and stuff. I think it's supposed to be like a stable area, but we could make this a crafting area. I don't know. It's really large. It's really big. So like, I don't even know. See, this would work good for us once our kinship is growing on Glamdring. Like, we're getting really big, so it would help us as a kinship to have a very big space, right? Now, there's also, right here, a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous garden area. And this is my one plus of why I'd want this area. We get this absolutely gorgeous garden area, all right? We could do events right here in this garden area. It would be really pretty. So that's a plus for me in this particular homestead. That garden spot is really, really neat. There's also in this area, there's like a big chessboard from what I remember. I don't remember where it's at though. It's like a big chessboard where we could do events on and like chat. And it's one of these other homesteads. Maybe we could find it in a minute. Let's look inside real quick. So there's our upper balcony. You can see right there. If I'm saying if we own the house, obviously. There's our mailbox. If you need it, if you're not VIP. Let's go ahead and go in here. So now again, as you can see, it's very dark, but the lighting effect works in this house. So we could get the lighting and make it much brighter. And I think you can even change the walls because this is a bit newer, right? And change a lot of this. But as you can see, if we just give a quick little look about here, a little look-see. We have this big open area. And then you got all these rooms, which again, we could have, you know, I'm not sure where they put the chest. Maybe it's probably in this front right room. I don't know. We got little sitting areas. We got another little house area here. So we could put some, you know, crafting. We can make this the crafting right at the front door. Make it easy. We could just decide. I mean, this place is absolutely massive. We have this room right here that has like almost like seats. So, I mean, this could be some kind of hall for some event. I don't even... I don't even know. Our brains, we'd have to put our brains together for this, guys, because, like, yeah, it's a lot. It's a big place. And as you can see, it is quite a big, quite larger, another, like, than, you know, like the Dol Amroth building is. So the Dol Amroth gives you an island, so we have outside to use. Now we have a downstairs and an upstairs. So the downstairs would go like this. And you'd have an area down here, which also has a way out. Some more big rooms. Like, I mean, this place is just, it's massive. Again, I'm just not sure. We'd really have to lighten it up. We would really have to lighten it up with the lighting effects because I don't like how dark it is. That's my big negative of this homestead in general. We obviously could change the walls too better, that would reflect light better and things like that. But as you can see, like this is just the down. I mean, the downstairs alone is big almost as like some of the other kinship houses, right? Now, granted, so this whole housing complex is definitely, this kinship is designed for a kinship that has like over 100 members, which you guys, we're probably gonna have over 100 members on Glamdring, easy. I don't think that, like, and I think actively we'll probably have 50 at least active players that are playing on a weekly basis at minimum. Probably on a daily basis for that, honestly. Now this is glorious. This is absolutely my favorite thing about this house. I saved it for last. This could be a great spot for meetings and events. Look at this. We have, like, there's gardens of trees growing. There's this crystal light in here. Absolutely gorgeous. And you got a couple little side rooms. This room is glorious. This would be really cool for events. We could put something like a podium in the middle. You know, we could have some role play events going on here. I would love to do that along with some streams. We'll have some fun role play or something. You know, hear ye, hear ye. No, just I'll stop. All right, so here is this. We can put stuff out here too. This is the balcony that I was telling you about. This gives us the view of our great kingdom and all its treasure. There it is, my friends. How safe is this balcony distance-wise? It's not very safe, guys. I wanted to get back faster is the actual reason I did that. Which actually works out perfect because it respawns you right outside. I would like to show you one other Kinship House option that I think would be really good in here. Now, I want to be clear, guys. Like, we're gonna do some votes on this housing stuff, but obviously, I want to get to the point where we can kind of get a consensus on what people feel and want with the housing areas. But if we're gonna be buying one of these Kinship houses, then I'm gonna be forking over a bunch of money. Like, I want to be able to, you know, I want it to be something I want to. I'm not gonna lie, of course. But again, I'm really happy with the decision of all of these Kinship houses. I'd be happy with the island. I would be happy with one of these. I would be happy with the Lyndelby Hobbit one. I would also be probably happy with the Rohan one. I'll show you in a minute. It's really cool. So, and again, I would, you know, if we don't buy this Kinship house I just showed you, that would save me a little bit because the island's already expensive. This thing is like insane. Okay, so let's see.
Of what help may I be to you? At your service. And
I would like to look at the Crystal Kinship House. Let's see if I can find it. Is it Iron Road? I think this is it. Yeah, this is the one I want to show you. So this one is also really, really cool. It's a little less massive, okay? So here's why it's cool. All right, let's just talk about this. And again, I really do want my kinship that are here, you know, that are in my kinship to feel a say in our kinship house for the premium. I do want you guys to have a say. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like, I'm just gonna veto it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I really want people to actually like participate. If we have 4 people vote, you know, that's not really gonna work for me. I want people to be involved. So Ironfoot Gardens, we get our own like garden patch here. for this one. This house is a lot more along the likes of lighting for me, okay? So this is the other kinship house we could pick. Basically, you get some natural garden trees. Here's where so we start right. We own pretty much everything this and back. It's pretty cool. So we go in here. So this is a front of our house. Our house is inside a geode, you guys, and yes, you can fish in that. So this is pretty cool if people are really into geology, like me. My mom in real life was a geologist, hence my love of gems, stones, and minerals. So anyway, this is glorious. So then we keep going. And then our house is inside this geode. So this is inside the premium house. I think it's a very similar layout to the other one. But, you go right here, you can see part of our house is actually inside the geode. Which is really cool. And there is water in here. A little bit of a mist effect going on. So this could be another really cool spot for our kinship. And again, what I said a minute ago, I really don't want people to misunderstand. I want people to be involved in the kinship house choice. That is my point. I don't want 2 or 3 people voting, and then it's like, well, 3 people vote for this, and, you know, Zollin vote for that. It's like, well, what do we pick? I'd really like it if we have, like, you know, 40 people, like, help decide on where we want to go as a group. And remember, we can really only pick one. So no matter what, I think all of these housing places are awesome. So, you know, if one group picks this one and maybe a couple people don't really like it, I hope that we'll also be respectful and like the house we get, right? Because really, honestly, these are all freaking amazing houses. So yeah, they're going to be amazing. They're going to be amazing no matter what we get. And again, remember, I will probably have my alt account get one of the kinship houses. So if you're really someone who really liked the Thorns Hall Homestead, you know, I might be able to still, if we all vote on keeping the Thorns Hall as the free homestead area, because we're going to have a premium one, maybe we pick house, and then obviously we're going to have the free area still, like I already talked about. We will still have that kinship house. So if you're someone who just likes to go to that one, like, I don't want to, like, make people feel like, oh man, I liked how we had it. Don't, just keep that in mind. You're going to get the best of both worlds. That's my goal. That's my goal. So there's no downstairs of this one, like the other one had. So that is a difference. But, I mean, honestly, we probably don't need the downstairs. Does this one still have a cool upstairs? Oh, interesting. So this one does not have that giant, beautiful roof with the ingrown flower area. But it does have a big room for events right here. And it has another giant room with more geodes. Parts of the geode in it. So, I mean, this is basically, do we want the geode house? That's basically what's going on. Okay? Now, another little side note that we should think about, all right, with all of this choosing and choices and jazz, which we will do later in a group meeting, but this is all food for thought, this whole video, right? For the community in general, too. Let's see, can I get on my horse here? Yeah, this is really cool, though. Really, really cool. So now there is a, there's a giant chessboard that I wanted to show you guys. I don't remember where it is. I really wanted to show it to you guys. Epic, epic music though, right? So here's a little bit of just riding around so you can kind of see the great hordes of gold. I've showed you guys in the past, so I think we won't worry about it right now. Let's go ahead and check out the Rohan one real quick. Basically, there's a giant board somewhere in front of one of these houses. Maybe it's the other kinship house. And it's like a big chessboard. And it's got seats all around it. It could be fun for events. Could even play, you know, hobbit-sized chess, where all our hobbits are the chess pieces. No, wait, what? I'm just kidding. Okay, maybe dwarves. We can use elves. We can use any of them. All right. So anyway, now that it's daytime here in Middle Earth, to finish up, we're gonna go check out the.
What can I do for you?
Let's check out the. Is it Rohan, right? Rohan, Helm's Deep. Can we go to? Is Edoras an option? Okay, well, I was kind of hoping that I could just go straight to Edoras, but Rohan. Okay, well, we'll just go to Helm's Deep, and then maybe I can take a swift travel over to Edoras. Whee! Ooh, the sun shines up. Anyway, I hope you guys that this has been helpful to everybody. I wasn't doing a stream or anything today, but I was like, man, I want to make a video talking about this, what was in my mind, even though I didn't. I've still got a headache, by the way, since I started this video. Like, I'm a happy dwarf. I just try to always be happy, even when I'm feeling miserable. All right.
I am afraid of what is happening to these lands.
It's just because we're moving to 64-bit. You're okay, mister. He's like, but my beard is not 2D anymore. This is a good thing. The unknown can be scary, guys. To Edoras! Helm's Deep! So cool seeing Helm's Deep in the game finally. Alright. So now we have 2 homesteads to check out. We're gonna just check out like one of their. Where is my? Oh, there's my stable master.
I do not know.
By the way, that loading speed just now, things like that are not gonna happen nearly as much, if not at all, on the new 64-bit servers. Things will just be boop loaded. It also sometimes it depends on your speed and your internet and your computer. But for me, usually when I see something take a long time to load like that, it's not on my end usually. I've got crazy fast internet and a crazy computer. All right, let's see here. I like to hold this right here. See, it looks like Zollin is like looking at the options. We want to go to the homestead. All right, we're gonna do the King's Homestead first. So this could be another option. Do, do, do. Sorry. Gosh, I did that, man. My throat's like, oh, what are you doing? The kinship and channel must go on. If I'm sick, I must still make something. Urukai riding around on horses. It's not supposed to be like that. Alright, so welcome to the Rohan Kingstead Homestead instead of other steads. Alright,
I do not know if we will survive.
Where
this
is the
onslaught.
person that like helps me pick? I can muster people to this? Sweet. Okay, there's no person to help you pick at this home. Interesting. Is it inside maybe? Alright, well, eeny, meeny, miny, mode. Catch it, this one. Usually there's a person that helps you, like, decide on the buying. It might be at a different location. Alright, welcome, everyone, to the Homestead of Rohan, which has awesome music, by the way. And you can see Edoras in the distance, so it kind of feels like you're living in Rohan. So I'm definitely not against that. I am a Rohirrim at heart as well, even though I know I'm a dwarf. Alright, so anyway, this is kind of it. I don't really know where the biggest kinship house... It's probably this one, right? In the middle. Oh my gosh, that music is awesome. This is making me realize I need to... Music is inspiring me. I don't know how many I told you this, but my family may have bought me a bagpipes for Christmas a few years ago. I gotta practice those. Real life. I've only been practicing with my little chanter for a long time. I'm actually an alto saxophone player. That's what I usually play in my orchestras. Alright, a little side note there. Not important right now. I'm talking about real life orchestras too. Alright, so I believe this is probably the largest kinship house. We're already at it. It's basically, this is crazy. You have the little hooks to put your horses everywhere, like they've done here. I believe they added that, but I think you get this barn. Yeah, this is all the rest of this stuff is theirs. I think this little house is kind of yours. And then this is kind of what... There's also a couple other kinship houses in this place too, but this is like the big one. Let's hope they let us go in this kinship. You don't have permission. Oh, man. Alright, well, I'll have to find another neighborhood to look at this then. I wonder where the housing broker is for this guy. I honestly have not spent a lot of... These are awesome, by the way. What are these called? Large bass. Oh, I gotta look for those. Probably in Erebor. Those are cool. What are these guys supporting? The Sauron or something? How? No. Is this also part of this homestead? Or is this someone's individual house? I think this might be part of the homestead. Oh my gosh, is this all? I think this is part of it too. That's crazy. I think they get all these little huts. Like a whole nother, I think that's their barn, because every of the big, they get a barn. We'll do a special video. I'll make a special video exploring all these. I just wanted to give you guys a food for thought with this one. Oh, maybe that lady is the one that helps you buy things. So anyway, this looks like this is the middle of town. This is where you can come to do all your like town stuff if you don't have one for your kinship house or whatever.
What can I do for you today?
Well, hello, sir. Oh my goodness, it's adorable. Look at it. It's adorable. It's a furry cow. It's a furry cow. I've never look at this thing. Wow, that's awesome. I love that. I love it. All right, look, there's another one. It's another furry cow. All right, so anyway, this is the middle of town. I'm getting so distracted. It's like I almost forgot I was making a video. Sorry, guys. It's my brain just going everywhere today. Is this the... is this her? Oh, good. This is where... Okay, you have to come into the homestead. Okay, I found her. I thought there was something I remembered about this.
Hello, friend. Can I
Hello.
help you with something?
Yes, you can, actually.
Hello, friend. Can I help you with something? How may I help you today?
All right, so now I'm only seeing a few. Is there only one large house? Let's see. So this one has 9. You can always look at the LOTRO wiki later too. I can make sure. But let's see. This is... Let's go ahead and tour this house. So I want to see the inside. All right, so this is the entrance. We already looked at this. I'm gonna go ahead and look at the for sale sign here and look at the details. All right, this house offers 182 decoration hooks and 14 lighting hooks across 2 interior and 61 exterior hooks with access to shared storage. Okay. It does not offer the ambiance effects, meaning you can change the lighting. So you're pretty much just stuck with whatever time of day it is here in Rohan, which is not a bad thing. Rohan always is very pretty, but let's go ahead and just... So basically, you get a lot more than I was saying. You get these fields. You get this cute horse and this windmill. Which, can you go inside this windmill? Oh, you can. Look at that. Oh, you can even go out on the porch of the windmill. It's glorious. Some beautiful views. Beautiful views of Rohan. This could be a good place. We got a little swamp down there to look at. It's where Shrek lives. He says stay out of a swamp. All right, got the memo. All right. Now this thing. Can you go in this thing, or is this just cause? I think this is just cosmetic for looks. Yeah. Okay, that's just for looks. And then again, you get all these little huts all over the place. Let's see. So this is, you can go in here. All right. So we get a nice little barn, which I'm sure we can do lighting, right? Wait a second. Can we do lighting? Hooks across 2 interiors and 61 exterior hooks with access to share. It doesn't say you have the lighting options. Okay, well, this could be something we might want to think about. Now, granted, I'm sure there's items that'll give off some light that we could put in here, but the fact that it doesn't have the ambiance and the lighting hooks. Oh, no, it does. I'm sorry. It does. I'm just tired. There they are. 14 lighting hooks across. So you can light it up in here. Good. Okay. So the only thing we can't do is pretty much the environment being like the light changing I showed you at my other house. We couldn't do that here. But otherwise, I mean, and you can't do the fencing. But you can do music. You can do lighting. That's good. Good. All right. I mean, this is a big, big barn, so you could light this up. It's really cool. This is really awesome. We could do crafting in this barn, or we could just have horses in it, like mounts. It would be a good crafting place, too. But, of course, we could have the crafting in the main hall, too, as well. So, whatever's easier. All right, so it's loading stuff. Which, again, we probably won't have this loading issue on the new 64-bit servers, which is exciting. That happening? Zollin running very, very fast. All right, there's our mailbox. Fancy looking mailbox, actually, compared to some of the other places. Like it. All right, so if we got this place, we're basically buying a very, you know, the Great Mead Hall / Bjorning's hut look. Is what we're basically doing here. So granted, we could do like fire down the middle with roasting pits, and then this is cool. Yeah, I mean, I like it. I don't know personally if this is my favorite, like, which is how it's laid out, but it is nice. Like, because you could have crafting stations along the walls, or like, for example, this room could be the crafting room. Oh, wow, it really goes back here, though. I almost like the cool rock wall in this room. I do like the layout of this building, though, compared to, like, if I was going to argue a point, if I was, okay, little devil's advocate here, right? If I was going to argue against my other point, I would say that this is laid out better than, like, the Erebor Homestead. Because the Erebor Homestead, we'd have to do a lot of put our brains to how it would be laid out. This one is pretty straightforward. Which, granted, the Erebor gives us more options of kind of making, like, multiple rooms, though. This is cool, though. This is neat. This is definitely neat. We got all this area up here. We could put items. This would be a neat house, too, for a big kinship in the future. So, definitely nice. All right. Again, I hope that lots of people would join our community. I really want this to be a really happy, fun kinship. And we'll have all sorts of different levels, you know? Now, I talked about this a little bit at the beginning of the video. I like this one. It's cool. So pretty much that's it. Like, it's not like, it's a big building, clearly, but like that's it. That's all you get there. And then we have that other spot right on the other side, the farm place. So, but I mean, this one's still nice. It almost feels like the layout's nice, but it almost feels kind of small for being such a large place. At least compared to the Erebor Homesteads, they were so massive feeling. And then we have a nice little thing all the way around. We have this area over here. we could make our own little, even back here could even have a little stage area. And there's Erebor in the, it's cool to see Edoras in the distance. That's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. All right, so again, I'm sure there's a few other places too, but that's pretty much the big kinship house here. And then people could buy up homes around it, right? If people wanted to spend money in game with that. But again, I am thinking about all this stuff for the future, you know, as our kinship grows. I know I've been telling you guys for a while. I still am. It's really hard. I really wish they would update some of the newer features on like the Dol Amroth housing homestead, because I really like the island. But I mean, we can still get the island if that's what a majority of us like. But I'm also really liking the idea of the Hobbit area because it's got all the newest features, and I also think it's very beautiful. So I'm like, I'm torn, honestly, myself. So this will be something we'll have to decide as a kinship later. Let's see. Can I take...
I'm afraid of what is happening to these lands.
Let's go back to Edoras, and then we'll take a swift travel to the other homestead, which is over there to the left around that mountain. But yeah, again... there's a lot of stuff going through my head right now. I'm thinking about, you know, as our group grows too, I'm hoping the future will always have like a combined, like I said at the very beginning of this video 2 hours ago, we'll have a combined sense of togetherness, as in we're a kinship, right? But I also want to be the point where if our kinship's so big, let's say we have 150 people in the future. I want it to be where like groups can be formed within our kinship, you know? So certain leaders can lead certain events at certain days. Certain groups of people, you know, 4 or 5 of you might get together and be like, hey, let's just go do a questing day, just us on this blah, blah, blah. You know, it's not an official thing anyone planned. It's just you guys go and have fun questing together because you're part of our kinship and you guys want to have these 4 characters. They're all the same level, right? That kind of thing out of, you know, the big group. That's stuff I'm thinking about. That's how I want the community to feel. Again, I never want our kinship to feel like it's like breaking apart or something, ever, like that feeling. I don't want people to feel like they're locked in. They you know, if they wanted to leave or something, of course. But that's the goal. Is I want the community to feel everyone will have something they want to do, whether it be role play, whether it be low level leveling, whether it be doing end game raiding, high tier stuff. I want us to be able to feel like we're a full group family of all the levels of, you know, matureness in the video game. Obviously, not matureness as in real life, as in the video game. Like, are you someone who's been around for a long time and you got full gear and you can do tier 3 and 4 stuff easy or something, right? And then we have a group of, you know, people like that, and they're just as happy to hang out with people that are brand new to the game and teach them basic stuff, right? And those basic people, as in just learning, not that anyone is basic, but the level of their knowledge is basic is what I mean of the game, and they're brand new and they're just having fun doing basic quests around the world, kind of like some of our groups already do. Or even taking things slow or taking things fast. Different groups that want to do fast leveling or, you know, speed leveling, or groups that want to take things slow and have fun. Like our one leader, Beth, has set up a group called the Tortoise Group, where they're literally taking the questing very slow and methodical, which I love as someone who on this channel, you know, makes content with the voiceover series. I clearly make guides that show how to do things fast. I make content that's slow and methodical and storytelling. So I think having both of those sides of the coin in our kinship will be a benefit for all of us, is my point. That's the goal.
I do not know if we will survive this.
Oh, we'll survive, and we'll have a great time. All right, we're going to check out the Eastfold Homestead here. All right. So welcome. This is the Eastfold Homestead. It is more up in the mountains, as you can see here. So I don't really care where I go in. I'm going to go to the middle to find out. So we'll go ahead and go up here real quick. So this is the entering the Eastfold Hills. This is a very beautiful homestead too. I really love mountainous areas, which is why I like the Hobbit area too. I'm someone who has gone hiking and camping up at 10,000, 11,000 feet in the Sierra Nevadas here on the west coast of America. I am a big mountain lover. Indeed. All right, let's see here. So, is this the person? Aha. All right.
Are you looking for something, friend?
Keep clicking the wrong button. Oh my goodness.
For you today?
Clicked all the wrong ones.
Friend, can I help you with something?
Hello, friends. So I think there are 10 or any of these kinship houses. There's one. So there's only one big kinship house in these two. So I guess we'll do this one, and it is the Ridge Road, and I believe it's this one. All right. So this is it. Okay, I'm gonna say the aesthetic of this kinship house is very pleasing to me. I like the setup. I like the little tiny cool walls. I love the pine trees. I love the color of the, like, this is really nice. Let's go ahead and look at this real quick. This house offers 182 interior decoration hooks, 18 interior lighting hooks, and 60 exterior hooks with the access to shared storage. Okay, so you still have the lighting effects and stuff. You do not have with these the newest features like the other place where you have the environment or fences that you can change. But, I mean, this is pretty awesome. We have all these little areas here. That's someone else's house, I believe, over there. Also, that's amazing. I did not, like, okay, so this is our view. So we always have the weather that we have here, whatever it be, rating or whatever. That's actually Edoras right there. That's pretty awesome. There's the other homestead, by the way. You could actually see the other kinship home if we wanted to do the other one. So here's this one, and there's the other one we were at, right there. So anyway, this is the view this one has. There it is. There's the other homestead. There's Edoras. That's kind of cool. All right. So anyway, it's a beautiful look. Mushrooms. This music is glorious too. Absolutely beautiful. All right, so we'll continue exploring. Let's go ahead and go inside this home. Ooh, that music is crazy. So cool. All right, so this looks very similar to the other home. Now, the immediate thing I noticed is this was not here, the other home. So we have like a downstairs. Interesting. Oh, look at this. This could be crafting. We could do collections down here. I mean, this is pretty cool. Interesting. That's very different than the other house, isn't it? That they have this downstairs area. It's like a cellar. I like that they have all this food right here. It's kind of cool. So we could have crafting down there. So this one... This one actually kind of seems like it has pretty much the same things, except it has a downstairs with it. Which seems like there's a benefit to this neighborhood. A little bit more room down there. The upstairs looks very similar, the layout, even where the staircase is. Yeah, it's pretty much the exact same house, except there's a downstairs. And I think the reason that they get a downstairs and this one, the other one doesn't, is the other one got a barn, remember? So the difference, basically, of these two is location, and then this one gets a beautiful big downstairs cellar, and the other one got a barn. But the nice benefit is this is all in the same place. The other one you have to walk across to the barn. So this one worked better to have crafting downstairs, you know? So I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave comments. We'll be talking about all this later on. I love the view. I mean, it's beautiful where this is. So, I mean, so we've checked out the Erebor, the 2 Rohans, the hobbits, and now I think what we'll do is this music is just like rocking, by the way. Freaking awesome. All right, so now we're back here. I would actually like to I want to see inside the big kinship house. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the, I think the lady is at the middle too, where we were. So now you can kind of see this in the daytime too, now that it's day. So I want to give you guys another, because I will tell you guys, I do tend to like this homestead because of, not only is it also in the mountains, it's gloriously beautiful. And we have the option of all the brand new benefits of the housing areas. And that is my only tiff with the Dol Amroth one. I really like the idea of having an individual island, like a lot. But I also am a little bit bummed that we wouldn't be able to have the environmental and changing ability and also the lighting ability. But the lighting is pretty good in those houses, so the lighting might not be an issue anyway. All right. So let's go ahead and find that nice house broker lady. And we're going to talk to her and see what she thinks with the... Turn that music down just a wee bit for my ears. All right. I think it's this person.
Can I help you find something, friend?
Yes, please. Kinships. Okay. Deluxe. Well, let's see. Which one's... Okay, that one... I mean, it's probably that one, right? That's 950. Whew. Let's just look at the biggest one. This is the same one that we were at. That we got kicked out of. Yes, so this is the big one. I think if we're gonna buy a kinship house in this homestead, personally, I would vote for this one as the vote. So we're gonna have to do separate layers of voting. We're gonna have to kind of decide which one, and then like which kinship house. But I think if we're gonna buy a kinship house in this homestead, it's gonna be this one. That's my gut feeling. But again, we'll have to all decide as a kinship later in a kind of a private vote thing. So I'm sure this will help the community at large too to kind of decide. So let's go ahead and go into this house, see what it looks like. All right. So, and again, remember you have the new lighting effects, so we could brighten it up in here and stuff like that. So same thing with the Erebor, right? Homestead. They're both newer. The Rohan. So it basically goes. The newest premium homestead was Dol Amroth. Sorry. The oldest, excuse me, was Dol Amroth. Then the one after that were the two Rohan ones. Then they gave us the Erebor one, and then we got the this one. Oh man, I'm trying to remember. I'm forgetting one. If I am, we'll add that one in, of course, later. But it's just not in this video. So this is basically the entrance. Nice huge entrance. Goes into a combo room connection, which goes into, you can kind of see it up here on the radar, by the way, what it looks like, this layout. So that's connected. So this is a big room here. And then it goes around into some more rooms. And this is a door that actually leads out one of the other ways. So let me just show you what I'm saying. So there's actually like different spots in the hill. So this one leads out the left side, right? So you actually have the layout of that building under this entire thing with 4 doors to get in and out, I believe, from what I remember. So then this is a little side room here that has you can put some stuff in, and then we go here. This one leads into some other rooms, and this one loops back into a larger area of rooms. Excuse me. Never mind, it keeps going. So this one's going back behind where the front door was. Now I will... Okay, this is one negative on this house so far. Okay, it's a little bit mazy. Feels a little bit mazy to me. This one has a little bit of that feel of the of Erebor. Though Erebor is not quite as mazy feeling as this one. This was actually a little bit worse for me, but it's not bad though. And once we set up housing, we could make it flow by like putting carpets in the right directions for things like where you walk. And then have like separate rooms on the sides, just so people like so how it flows. It's harder when there's nothing on the walls and there's nothing on the floors and there's no lighting added in. That makes it more challenging. So like, just keep this in mind, okay? All right. So then we got this room over here. All right, and then it goes up. All right, which remember it was into a hill. So we keep an eye on this radar up here. You can see we have this other room here. And there's a side room right here. And now we're on the upstairs. And then you got this big, beautiful area. And now this door is actually above the lower part. And it pops up on the roof, I believe. Kind of. Yeah, so this one's like the roof spot, which we could do events up here. So we came in below, right? So that's kind of cool that it actually does that. So I like that feature. And again, I know a lot of people are really into the... I feel like this homestead is the best cross between Hobbit Dwarf for me. Because I'm in the Dwarven... I'm in, like, in the mountains. There's a Dwarf fortress in the distance. But yet, it's a Hobbit home, you know? Now, one thing I do like about the Rohan homesteads is that the roofs were so high. And also, actually, the Erebor, right? Same action... So, the Dol Amroth is kind of mixed with the roofs, right? This one, the roofs are real short. Because it hobbits, okay? The Dol Amroth one had a couple short roofs too, but it also had some very high roofs. So those are also things we should think about. That's something you can't change. The walls we can change, the floors we can change the ambiance music, we can change the lighting in this one. All that jazz can be changed in this one. So this is another big room back here. This is gloriously big rooms. I like how big these rooms are though. These are at the very top here. This is really nice. We could make one of these a crafting thing. Or we can make it put seats and make it all fancy. Then this is the other way you can go down. All right, this is the other side. I looped around the back. And now we're kind of back to the same area we were at the beginning. And there is the front right door. And then if we went over here, you can see we're back to the front main door at the bottom. And then I don't think there's... Yeah, I think there's no door on the left side. So, like, this one, I like this one. There's a lot of potential in this one. I think what I like about this Kinship house the most is the outside. I'm not, like, the hugest fan on the lower ceilings. But when you come in right here, the ceilings are higher. So this spot, I like a lot. It's nice. Now, I'm a dwarf, so I'm one to talk. But what about our elf and human friends? It's a joke, guys. It's a joke. All right, it doesn't matter. It will not affect them. It's plenty high for them. All right, so, but again, man, the outside of this one is where I'm like, I love the outside of this one. It's a challenge. It's a challenge, you guys. We're really going to have to think this through. Now, in theory, if our kinship really gets growing, but this is, like, we could have a place like this, and we could have the island, too, with a different, and I could use one of my all kinships to buy it, right? So we could do events at both places, but... I don't really want to... That's not the plan, okay? So, like, that would be far... I'm talking, like, you know, maybe 2 years in the future. You know, if our kinship was that big, maybe I could invest for that, right? So we could have the best of both worlds in the future. But we want to just pick one kinship home that will be Voice of the Rings that we can all teleport to and that we can all use. So this is the kind of stuff we all have to think about. It's all fun stuff. No matter what, all of these kinship houses are glorious. And they'll all be beautiful. And again, I love that dwarven fortress over there in the distance. My home is right over around that bend behind those two hills. It's a beautiful one. This is a beautiful one. I like it. All right, so then... I love this. The area out here is beautiful. I love that we have this pond back here that we could fish in. Oh man, I really like the pond. This whole area also again would be great for hide and seek. Absolutely. Now so this homestead on the island, Dol Amroth, would be both really good for the hide and seek stuff. I don't think the Erebor one... I mean, it would work once we have items of and stuff, but it wouldn't work quite as good as these would. As this and Dol Amroth would. And remember, we could change the environment on what clouds... You know, if we use the Durin's Day, we could always make it daytime. I think the other environments don't change it day and night. It uses the cycle still. Glorious. All right, well, there's some thoughts. This is a big contender in my mind, but we'll see what everyone else thinks once we do a more... I just thought it'd be cool to show everybody. And now, to finish up this video, we are going to go back to the island and see it in daytime. All right, so here is, again, my Dol Amroth house. Here is a view of... Now, one thing I would like to point out, even though you cannot change the environment of Dol Amroth, the actual lighting of Dol Amroth at the beach and the clouds are always gorgeous. Now, granted, you get rainy days and stuff occasionally, but there are the two islands. It's a good spot to look for it. So, again, I'm more inclined on the closer island if we were going to pick one of these. But that far one is also very beautiful. But we're going to go ahead and look at them both. We won't look at as much details as we did the first time, like inside, but we will look at the outside of both. In fact, why don't we start with the far island, since we already saw the other one. I just want you guys to kind of be able to see all of the options, food for thought, think it over for a few weeks, and then we'll be talking about this at the time of me releasing this video. I will do my best to release this, I think, on Monday. It should be a Monday when it's released. But, not that that matters. But, when it's released, you guys can mull it over. And then, a couple weeks later, we'll be talking about this more in detail on our Discord. So make sure you're part of our Discord down there. This boat also, there's a few boats that always go around, which is really pretty. But yeah, I'm a fan of being on the ocean with the islands. That's something that I really like. Obviously, some people joke I'm a beach dwarf. I do like the ocean. So let's go ahead and take one of these boats by clicking it. There we go. All right, so this is a Falthui dock. You can see there's the other island. If we were gonna pick that one, got some fish jumping out. So this is what this island looks like. Got some gulls and seagulls. Now remember, this one, you teleport over here or use a map. So you own pretty much everything touching the water, which is kind of fun compared to some of the other homesteads. This one gives a feeling of you own everything to the sea. Again, look at these views of the sea. It's really pretty. So this is home of the Royal Rohirrim Regiment. Cool. It's a cool name. So pretty much you own along this whole edge here. Now this one, the nice one is this. You can see the views of the whole mountainous neighborhood, including that island with the fire, the tower, and then there is the other island. Home you can buy. This one, I believe, has a view of Dol Amroth. It does. You can see it in the distance right there. And this one also, guys, it also has the court, which, again, it's very similar, identical to the other island. I really like having this for events, and that it's outside by the ocean and stuff. Very pretty. So then if we go along here, you can see how big the island is for a second. Again, this would be amazing for hide and seek. You can see that there's some Corsair ships out there, and that is the King City of Dol Amroth. The ships are pretty cool. This one has a lot of trees back here. I did not remember how many trees this one has. I mean, this is a pretty cool island, too. And actually, you know, now that I look at it, I think this one might be a little bit bigger. I don't know. I think it's longer. This one's longer. This one's, like, wider. And you can see that Corsair ship's actually moving, which is really cool, going along the ocean there. That is another part of the land. If we go to the back side of this island, which we'll ride real quick. I like the sound of the waves, too. Can you guys hear the waves? So this island is very long. So you can go all the way to the back here, and you can see that right there. That is the view out to the great ocean. That direction is the Undying Lands. Very, 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 very far away. But yeah, I mean, man, it's a hard decision, you guys. The reason I gave this to everyone to watch is that I'll put some timestamps like I said, and then that is again the connection of a I believe we're looking at their Tolfenas, the island out on there on the left. I think that's Tolfenas. There's Dol Amroth. There's the Great Bridge straight into the homestead. I mean, this spot is really pretty. So, like, it's a really hard decision. I really wish that Dol Amroth, they would update the environmental lighting hooks and stuff. That would be really cool. Even if it was just for these islands. Since you're buying, like, a big kinship house. This kinship island seems to have a lot more of the larger trees, which is kind of interesting. I'm noticing. Really pretty. Cool looking trees. I think they may have upgraded them with textures. Yeah, look at that with the ocean. I mean, all of this whole island would be ours. We'd own the whole island. Let's go ahead and look at the top. Definitely would be a good island for growth because our kinship as it grows. Here's a little tower crystal thing on it, and there you go. There's the ultimate view. It's about the same exact height as the other island too, at its little pinnacle. I mean, this one's really cool too. I love seeing Dol Amroth right there. And then if we go down here, now the layout of the other island being fatter almost gives you like more land feel in the front, I notice, because it's longer this way. So I feel like you have more usable land on the other island, because this one has like, it's really long in the back, like back here, which you don't really like need, where this one is like fat this way, so you get a lot more like usable land in the front, where this one's kind of like all your usable land's right here, and then it's like long and skinny in the back. I think that's why this one I particularly, I like that it's fatter this way, left and right this way, instead of just being really long, where this one is, you know, really long going that way, even though it's, I mean, it's not that much smaller, but you know what I'm saying. There's also a lot more flat land around the edge here, then this one has a lot more steep uphill on this mountain edge. I don't know, just things to take into consideration. But again, this is also just absolutely gorgeous. And I believe the Kinship House looks identical inside to the other one over there. I can double check. Let's see if they'll let us in. Nope. These people do not. No one likes visitors. Sad face. All right, let's take our home. Let's go and take our little ship back to the mainland. Now, I don't think you can just swim between, because I think they're like dimensional locations, I believe. You might be able to. I mean, I could test it sometime, but I'm not going to right now. All right. So back, this is the dock here again. So again, visually, you get a couple of the pretty Dol Amroth ships going around. You get an island. There's some fish jumping out of the water. There's the landmass. And then, again, the view. I might like the view of the other island better. I don't know. It's a hard decision. So this one has a lot here going on. And you're a lot closer to the actual land of the, seeing the trees and that tower up there. And seeing like all of the beauty of the neighborhoods. But if I go straight up to the mountaintop where the seagulls are, all the way up. Here we go. All right, so this one gives us an absolutely gorgeous view of the sea as well. And our stadium is on this right side instead of on the left side like it is on that island, okay? And then, again, it's still pretty long, the island, but it seems like it has like more area. I don't know, that one might be a little bit bigger feeling, slightly. I'm not sure. But the height of the mountain, I think, is still the same. They're both at the same height. This one, you can see that land, and again, better of the harbor. You can see this tower from this angle, but you cannot see Dol Amroth. You cannot see Tolfaneris, the other island back there, but you can see that ship. But there's definitely way more. This one has way more land to the left here, going down where you can like put stuff all the way. And I do like. So here's something that I like and don't like. Okay, see this one over here. See how it has the area where the wall is to put stuff. You notice that spot where they have to talk, basically, like sorry, what is it called? The stadium. It's to the right. You can't put stuff right here underneath it. Where this one, the stadium's there, and you could put things all underneath the stadium. Like, so you could like do little events underneath the stadium. So I don't know, the layout of this island, how the cosmetic items work, in my mind, I don't want to try to convince you. You need to decide for yourself for what we think. But I personally think that the layout of this theater is better with where the items can be placed. Where basically it's very similar in how the walls work to where these walls work, but there's no land on the left side, so they put the stadium on the right side. But again, if the stadium's on the right side, then you can only put items here, and the stadium's like, there's nothing underneath it, right? Now the stadium does have a beautiful view of Dol Amroth on that other island. This one, you can't quite see that far. I don't think the 64-bit server will make a difference on the regional areas. So what we can see right now will be the same distance we can see later. I like seeing the seagulls fly around, though. So these are all things we'll have to think about. I do like that other island in many ways. I actually like how it has I guess the trees are the same on both islands, but I feel like that one has a lot more trees. But, I mean, I just like this right side of the island, how it's laid out. Also, I think this is identical to the other one. Let's see, you can do all the cosmetic stuff right here. Yeah, so anyway, it's glorious, it's beautiful. It's got gorgeous views of the ocean. Yeah, so, I mean, you guys, let me know what you think. In the comments with that idea, but we will make sure you're in our Discord, make sure you're in our kinship. We'll let you guys all know. We're gonna talk about it and vote about it in a few weeks. There's a lot of pros and cons to every single neighborhood, and if this Dol Amroth had the benefit of having the interior lighting hooks and have the environment outside, it would be even more competitive, I think. But it's still competitive for me because, honestly, the lighting in here is still really good. Like, they did a really good job still of making the lighting very nice in these, even though they didn't have the lighting effect as an option when they first made this place. It still looks really good, and you can still change things up with the floor. And by the way, look at this floor. Look how cool. It does a little fire when you step on it. My friend Rumixed it and made very cool floors. I love that they have these rooms with the light coming in, kind of like the dwarf one had, but Dol Amroth. It is nice how they split this up, the rooms. It is a little split up choppy in a few spots, I feel, but if you do it right, man, it looks really cool. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. And there we go. And then this upstairs I really like this upstairs. Now, I'm not actually sure you can change the roof because my friend didn't change it. So that might be permanent, the star roof, how it's painted. I mean, I think it's cool, but that could be a thing we'll have to think about as well. A lot of the roofs you can't change, though. It's drinking. So anyway, big, beautiful room, too. But again, not quite as big as Erebor or the Thorns Hall Homesteads, right? I do feel like this, It's a smaller building than the Hobbit one, though, Lyndelby, but the Lyndelby one is larger in area. But this one has such massive high ceilings and lighting that I really like this one as well. So anyway, these are all things we will need to be thinking about. But again, my friends, thank you for being here for close to a 3-hour video. That was absolutely the craziest. Was not expecting to do this right now, but I just really wanted to talk about all this. And we'll just finish up here back where we started at our little homestead, which we might still have this house if we decide we want to pick a... The benefits of the new neighborhoods, which we'll have to think about, is that when we all move there, they're going to add a lot more dimensions, but most kinships are going to pick groups, neighborhoods, together. So there'll be a little less of, oh, there's one house in every random neighborhood, and more like you can all pick a neighborhood together, right? I think it would be neat if Standing Stones made it where a kinship that was at a certain size, let's say they have, 50 accounts connected to that kinship, not characters, because everyone, someone could have 50 characters on one account. If they have like 50 accounts that they could like apply to have a dimensional kinship, one of the free worlds just like made, right, where they could have their whole kinship live in that neighborhood. That'd be cool. That'd be a cool little option. I think that's unrealistic right now for them to do, but in the future, they could add it possibly. Now with the 64-bit servers, they'll be able to handle a lot more dimensional things and stuff. It's a cool idea. Anyway, my friends, thanks for being here for the whole time. Hope you have a great and wonderful day in Middle-earth. And I'm very excited. We'll be going to the server Glamdring, and again, feel free to reach out to me, other kinships. We'd love to do events with you on Glamdring. We'd love to just be a part of any community thing with Voice of the Rings. Kinship would love to be a part of any community thing in the community of LOTRO, no matter what server you're on, too, of course. I might even make a character and alt on one of the European servers just to kind of check it out, see what the ping is like for me being on the west coast of North America. But again, we will be on the server Glamdring, and this will all be fun stuff to talk about. And again, I already talked about our goals at the very beginning of this stream, so I'm not going to reiterate them. But you guys now know pretty much a bunch of stuff. So you got a bunch of info from my head, public stuff that I can say to the community here, both on my channel Voice of the Rings, to my Kinship Voice of the Rings in-game, and to the LOTRO community in general as well. So anyway, you guys, stay happy, have a great and wonderful day in Middle-earth, and I'll see you all in the next episodes of The Voice of the Rings. Baruch Hazad Kuzari Menu. Stay happy. Thank you to my wonderful Patreons for their support. Thank you, Reb, for being a Royal Guardian, and all of the new patrons who have joined recently, which I will update this card very soon because there's a bunch of you. Thank you so much. And again, welcome, welcome, welcome to everyone who joins the Voice of the Rings kinship here when we do our merge from Crickhollow to Glamdring. And remember, if you want to join early, at the time of this video, you are welcome to still make a character on Crickhollow. It'll be free to transfer to Glamdring. So come join us right now. Or if you're watching this once we're on Glamdring, come join us there on Glamdring. Have a great day, my friends. And no matter what house we pick, we're going to enjoy it because all these housing places are freaking awesome. So it'll be fun no matter what. Stay happy, my friends. I'll see you on the next episodes of Voice of the Rings.